Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is the CHGO Cubs podcast watch along, presented by Blue Moon. Cody Delmendo, Jared Wyllys with 2 Ys, and Kevin Wells is back. He decided to go to bed, go to his other job this morning, and then still managed to come in here.
Oh, yeah.
And grill.
Oh, yeah.
And grill.
Providing the goods for us.
This isn't work, man.
And
get to watch the Cubs with you guys and grill? Come on.
And drink Blue Moon and grill? So, yeah.
Good start.
If you've never tuned into one of these before, we just watch the game. I mean, that's it. And we talk about whatever is going on or whatever topics. We have the YouTube chat pulled up on my iPad. You guys got it up on your computers or phones, whatever. So we will read your comments. Send us super chats. We'll definitely read them. And, yeah, I would say, fellas, the Cubs need to win this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think at this point, you're all about stacking up series wins at least. You're coming off of a good one against the St. Louis Cardinals. You took 3 out of 4. Here's a shot at 2 out of 3 against Minnesota, who's another, this is a tough team you're going up against. They're toward the top of the American League, toward the top of their division. But the Cubs have played really well against them. So this is an important one. Going into what you hope is going to be a soft landing when they go to the South Side Friday and Saturday night against the White Sox, with apologies to our CHGO White Sox friends. But, if you can get a series win here, you got 2 against the White Sox coming up. That's what it's all about. They can inch their way closer to 500 and then I think legitimately be in that wild card conversation. When you're still sitting 4 or 5 games below 500, it's hard to take that seriously, but the closer they get to that mark, the more it can feel real.
Sure. So I have no run first inning. And Assad got the first out on 2 pitches, and then he just walked Larnach. Would have been on 4 pitches, but the umpire gave him a generous call on that comeback sinker that he throws. And I would say Assad's biggest concern for a lot of fans right now is exactly what he just did, the walks. He had 3 walks in his last appearance. Yeah,
it's fastball command, right? Like, that's how Assad kind of develops. And
Come on, Pete. Nice catch.
Wow, beautiful play by Pete Crow-Armstrong there.
Almost doubled him off.
That was a very nice catch. And great communication there with Dansby Swanson, who pulls off right at the last second, and Pete makes a really nice sliding catch. I mean, that's with the sun and everything, flip down the shades, make a nice play, 2 away. That's helping out your pitcher right there. Very nice play.
And that's the kind of play that, when you look back to that game against the Cardinals Saturday, when you saw a different outcome on a play like this, you have to watch this unfold and think, here's Pete. You can see him on the screen right now calling off Dansby and taking what went wrong on Saturday and processing it, reflecting on it, and probably handling this play that we just watched a little bit differently. Calls Dansby off sooner, and you get the result that you want.
Yeah. It was interesting yesterday, too. I think I'm not sure if the media was able to talk to Pete after the game, but there was a ball that was tailing away from him in yesterday's ball game that was hit really hard into the right center gap. And you saw him run it all the way down, and it hit off the top of his glove and fell out. That's a ball he would tell you he's supposed to have. That's a ball I'm going to tell you he should have had.
Oh, God, this isn't good.
That's one to the gap there. Oh, God.
Come on. Get him. Get it in there. Nerfy is alive. Oh, Nerfy is dead. Oh, my God.
That was just perfectly placed.
He hit that 114 miles per hour. I thought Larnach was slow enough. That
I'm curious where this throw went.
Yeah, we didn't get a good look at that throw.
Because it looked like the throw
So
I got to see where the cutoff man ends up here, because I think if you get a good throw on the cut, yeah, you overthrew the cutoff.
If Nico catches that ball, yeah, so that's on Pete. I'd say if there's anything I got to criticize Pete on defense, which is very little things, it has been some of those relay throws, the throws to home plate with guys coming home, trying to get an out. Like he's airmailed a few. But he covers so much ground. He made that catch,
Yeah.
It's stuff like that I think he'll easily clean up going into year 2.
For sure. Yeah, because that's an easy one to look at. I'm sure he'll go back in the dugout after this. He's going to, whether he looks at video or probably won't even need to, he's going to go in that dugout knowing, I got to make sure I hit Nico with that throw.
Yeah.
Because there's a pretty good chance, it's still going to be a hard play, but there's a pretty good chance if that's a clean throw to Nico that Nico can get it to home. And at least they've got a chance at making a play there on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't love the defensive mishap to start the game there. A nice play followed up by one that you gotta make a better throw on that one for sure. I mean, that was a play where it looked like they would have had a play there at the plate. It would have been, you're right, it would have been close, but I think they would have had a play there.
You're at least
frustrating.
You're giving yourself a chance.
Yeah. Well, even whenever I think it was either Busch or Assad who fielded that ball. I want to say it was Busch. When he had it, he might have been able to still throw him home, but he just decided to hold it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
saw a pretty rare curveball there from Javi to set up the grounder there on the fastball in the hands. Nice job.
That's a much better. The guy, what was that, Royce Lewis, who drove in that run? He's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball.
He's a monster.
I believe it was Royce Lewis. So I have Assad over 15.5 outs recorded today as well, which is 5 1/3 innings.
Okay.
He went 4 his last time, and I think that if he doesn't walk anyone, he can do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, walking the one batter in the first came back to haunt him.
Costly. Yeah.
Right? So I really do think that's key for him is not walking guys. And he had his last start he walked 3. The start before that he only walked 1. Went 6 innings for the first time in what felt like forever against the Royals. And but the start before that, he walked 6.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I know a lot of people are down on him right now because he just hasn't looked sharp. But we've seen him be sharp. And despite his struggles, he still has an ERA of like 3.19 coming into this game. So I think a large part of that is he's been really good with runners on base. Not specifically in that first inning today, but I think for the entire season, that's been his strength, and that's how he's been able to survive. Is whenever runners are on base, he finds a way to lock in. So, hopefully, it's just one run. Hopefully, the Cubs can bounce back here with the offense. And I'll take my loss on my no-run first inning. Stupid.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go throw those burgers on the grill.
Burgers going on the grill.
Throw them on.
Throw them on there, Kevin. I also have PCA over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs today. Dude, in August, hitting .333, slugging over 500. We talked about on last night's show, like
the bat is coming along.
Yeah. The bat's coming along. I felt like if the wind wasn't blowing in like it was yet last night, that first at bat he had, that ball was headed out.
Yeah.
How Paredes' ball went out, but that one didn't because PCA's was more, I guess it was more of a liner.
Right.
More of a line drive, and Paredes looked more of a moonshot of sorts. But, yeah, I mean, I just love the at-bats he's given them these first 7 games of August or whatever.
Yeah, you're seeing.
Very encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. Where, we focus so much on his defense, and, I know there's been the talk about him being told that his job is to be a center fielder and focus on that first. But, sooner or later, the more at-bats that he gets, this is going to start to happen because for as great as he is on defense, the guy can hit too.
Sure.
And I think, and I know Brendan and I got into this a little bit on his show. On Sunday, we talked about just like the advantage of letting PCA see at least a little bit of major league pitching in September of last year, and then have the off season and spring training to work on taking some of what he had seen and identified from those at-bats to improve what he's doing this year. So I think you're starting to see some of that growth, I would imagine, at this point in the season. and like we talked about that night, you kind of hope the same for some of these guys that just got moved up to AAA, like whether it's Owen Casey or Shaw and some of those guys that maybe in September they might get a little bit of a look so that they can be on a similar trajectory.
Okay, so Hap struck out fairly quickly there on like 3 pitches. So not great. Admittedly,
uncharacteristically short at bat.
Yeah. And he's definitely in a little bit of a slump right now. And I think fans are now starting to lean towards the negative side of Ian Happ again. So I'm looking forward to him getting out of the slump. But also, I think a lot of people questioning why he's leading off, but it's just like he gives you long at-bats, he works counts, he gets on base with walks. Their offense at the start of the season when he was at the top of the lineup was at its best as it's been all season in April. So I like that Craig Counsell put him back there. I was crying for him to put him back there even before that. So I know he's slumping right now, but when the rest of the offense is playing well and he's still doing what he does in terms of working counts and stuff, I don't hate it. So,
yeah.
Oh,
I think
Busch
just went deep. That's a no-doubter.
Michael Busch.
Michael Busch ties it up.
Let's go.
Speaking of guys riding a hot bat right now.
What is this thing PCA does with the pouring of the water?
Pouring one out.
He's pouring one out for that baseball? Is he pouring one out for that baseball? 107 off the bat, bro. Let's go.
That was when you see the pitcher drop into a squat like that.
Yeah. That's when you know
that's
that you
when
messed
you know.
up. Yeah. Dude. Can we just get Joe Ryan again? You're showing Michael Busch, which is fine, but we need to GIF or meme Joe Ryan doing that. There it is.
This right here.
There it is.
He drops into that squat like, oh no.
Michael Busch, if I know this season has been so disappointing, but he's been like the biggest.
Becky says Busch is hot.
Okay.
Just want to point that out.
He is hot with the bat right now, no doubt.
Yeah.
A couple homers over the weekend. Now hits one today. He struck out 4 times on Monday. Better at bats yesterday, and now hits a homer today. So he doesn't let those things carry over, you know.
Eli says Daddy Busch.
Okay.
Daddy Busch.
Okay.
We're getting some likes.
It's only the first inning. We're already there. Speaking of guys who are having great rookie seasons, Michael Busch is kind of quietly putting together.
He's at least in top 5 rookie of the year voting, I think.
He's gonna get some votes. I mean, Shota should get some votes too. Even though he does, he's not like your traditional type of rookie, but I was thinking about that this morning about like the National League Rookie of the Year voting and how that's going to shake out, and just there's 2 guys on the Cubs who will get some votes. I don't know that
it's unfortunate that Paul Skeens has been as amazing as he's been.
They're not going to win, but they'll get some votes.
Now the only way they might is if the Pirates decide to shut Skeens down and he doesn't pitch all of September or something. He didn't pitch April, and if he doesn't pitch September, I don't think he deserves it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, too high.
Being a classic Cubs fan, every time a fly ball's hit, I immediately think it's leaving the park.
But yeah, if for some reason they decide to make August his last month, then maybe they've got a shot. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't followed that super closely. If there's been any talk of that from Pittsburgh, I don't think there has been. But
it's always just been kind of rumored that maybe that they might lean that. I don't think they will because of what they did at the trade deadline. But
yeah, I think their eyes are kind of like the Cubs. They're still kind of have their eyes on try to get a postseason spot.
And honestly, they should. They've been buried since Jake Arrieta, had that complete game shutout in 2015 wildcard game. So legitimately, they haven't been to the playoffs since that game.
Right.
They've been buried for 9 years. So I mean, for the sake of baseball, they should. Yeah,
for sure.
But going into next year, they're definitely going to be scary.
Yeah, I think the division may be due for a little bit of a shakeup.
Yeah,
2025.
All right, so Isak Paredes trying to build off last night's great game. Joe Ryan, how many pitches this inning? Good take.
This is
17 pitches, 18 pitches now.
After that quick out against Ian Happ, I feel like this inning's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. What is Emma laughing about? Ground ball.
Okay.
All right. Well, the Cubs tied up. And if you had the yes run first inning, congrats to you. Or the Yurfie.
Big homer.
Cubs are good when Kevin's not on set.
Stay out there at the grill.
Stay out there. The Family Farms patio. Sorry, yes.
We're cooking some Family Farms patties right now.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, well.
I know everybody on the YouTube can't see it, but Sean Anderson's in the studio with a smile on his face after the White Sox ended their losing streak last night. Congrats to
I'm so pissed off about that. I wanted it so bad. I wanted to be the absolute worst best team.
The worst best team.
Well,
like seriously, and our show was blowing up. Like everyone was tuning in.
It becomes like a thing to follow. Then are they going to get the record? And they were.
Before I went to bed last night, I checked the score and I was just like, shit.
That darn Jonathan Cannon pitched way too well. So
but the funny part is they're going to lose the next 4 games.
I really enjoyed the Grifol graphic with all the L's.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part of the 22 game losing streak or 21 game. Whatever.
20. We got to 21.
It was a 21, yeah.
So,
sorry, I lost count. But yeah.
Yeah, credit to Law for that. That was good stuff. But I think the hardest thing about that was the picture of Miguel Vargas that started to circulate. This poor guy who gets traded from the Dodgers to the White Sox, and he had the look on his face of a man who's thinking, "What is happening?
What is my life?
Yeah, what is my life right now?" But things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that we Cubs fans can sit here and say, well, at least we're not the White Sox.
I have the picture up right now.
The Vargas
of his
picture?
face, yeah. Because we had it on the Sox show
Guy.
yesterday.
Yeah,
he just looks distraught.
That's a hard. His baseball career took a sharp turn.
Shane in the chat is asking, is Naked Guy out and about? And
no sign of him.
I do not see him, but he has been. I haven't been here for a lot of days because the Cubs play a lot of night games during the week, but when I am here during the day, I have been seeing him a lot out there.
It's the perfect day for it. He's
base knock for Carlos Santana, who, by the way, we were talking about this last night, but on the couch. But Carlos Santana, I feel like, has played for like 20 years, and I think we realized he played for Cleveland for like 10 years, then has played for like 6 other teams since.
He's really kind of bounced around since then.
Right. Yeah. Which is crazy to me. You play for one team for 10 whole years and then just bounce around after that. But he's always been like one of those like guys that like just annoys me. Because he's good.
He's just,
he's a good hitter, yeah.
He's just kind of, I always think of it like pesky good.
Yeah. Can we get a double play here? We need a shutdown inning. Need Assad to, I don't know, kind of lock in here. I thought he got getting that ground out after allowing the run was good. You know, the Twins don't walk a lot, so just throw strikes, man.
There we go.
There you go.
I like the challenge there. Just, I'm going to send this one in there pretty high in the zone.
Mm-hmm. Is it Kepler at the plate right now?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good curveball.
That's a nice follow-up breaking pitch there.
Yeah. That was a curveball, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So after you throw your fastball up high in the zone, you get a curveball right after that. It's a nice sequence right there. Now it's curious to see what he goes to try to finish him off.
Oh, he almost got him to bite there.
Yeah. I like the pitch choice. It just, credit to Kepler, he laid off. But
I feel like I think batters are they're just very zoned in on Assad this stretch. There you go.
Okay.
Don't throw it in that exact location again, but I like the pitch that he used, that comeback two-seamer. So,
but yeah, you're probably not going to get that one by him again.
No.
So,
what do you throw here?
I don't want to put him on base. I do think you kind of have to challenge him again.
Yeah. Nice. Well, he challenged him, and he
challenged him, and it didn't work. So
didn't work. Well, that said, I'm going to crack this blue moon.
I'll come right there with you. Here at our Blue Moon watch along. Cheers to a great summertime baseball beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it didn't.
Busch might have. He was close. He almost had it. Would have been
the results
huge.
Of course, not what you want, but I think, he went with that same two-seam fastball, but just in a different part of the zone. But Kepler's a good hitter.
Yeah. I've been concerned about Assad and the fact that, like, this is definitely the year he is going to hit a career high in innings pitched.
Right.
I even when he was great in April, May, I said that he's probably still better off in your bullpen. Because even when he was, pitching really solid for them, he still wasn't going deep in games. He'd give you 5 innings, sometimes 6. Like, I think he did that 2 or 3 times. But, like, I feel like he's just so much better out of the bullpen. There you go.
When you wonder if Ben Brown and Jordan Wicks don't get hurt.
Right. Well, Jordan Wicks for sure is in the rotation if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Ben Brown was a guy that they used in both scenarios. Right. But especially those injuries are for sure have hurt this team
big time
in many ways. And like, I know they aren't exactly proven, but when they were out there, they were productive,
And it at least opens up some of those kinds of options, especially with Assad, where maybe by this point in the season you could make that move to the bullpen, but you can't.
Right.
Now here he is, he's fallen behind another batter.
Yeah.
And it's so early in the game that
I'm wondering about how strong the leash is. I thought because 3-1. I thought because the Twins don't walk a lot, and that's essentially been Assad's biggest problem, in my opinion. I thought because they don't walk a lot, maybe he would be able to be a little bit more productive today. And maybe he still can. He's got to get out of this. Like I said in the first inning, he's always at his best when runners are on base.
Right. Like, let's see if he can.
It was a good 3-1 pitch to come back.
This would be a
got the 8-hitter up here, so I just throw a strike.
If he can come out, get this out here, I think that's.
Yeah. If I'm willing to take the ground ball to Dansby to get the double play and give up the run and it'd be 2-1, then, unless you get a ground ball right back to him.
Or maybe, you can hold that runner at third, but.
A little pop up.
Jammed him a little bit.
There you go. That's perfect. There you go. Nicely done.
Good.
Nicely done. Here we go. Now let's get the ground ball to Dansby.
Because you got their number 9 hitter coming up?
Yes.
Okay.
Brooks Lee. I remember Cubs fans wanted them to draft him. I think the year that he came out was the year they took, was it Shaw or Horton? Can't remember. I believe he was the first round pick for them, though, sometime in the last 2 or 3 years. Okay. Big spot here.
Yeah, 1 out, runners on the corners.
Ugh.
I think, you're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah. Definitely got to at least get an out here because you're at the 9-hitter. You got top of the order coming up.
Yeah, what you probably don't want to, if you can, you don't want that lineup to roll over.
Sure.
That's going to be really tough to avoid, though, because you've got to have the double play.
Oh my God! Get the ball. Fuck. Now the double play's not set up.
That takes away your double play option.
Is that on Paredes or is that on Bethancourt? Or maybe it's
tough
just
to tell as it happened.
he was just trying to pick him off. That's kind of. That's on
that looks like
Paredes.
It bounced off his glove. Or his wrist. You got to make that. You got to get that.
Yeah, you got to get that.
That being said, I don't know that I love that pickoff attempt.
I don't either. I don't like. Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
You know, like you got first and third. You got the 9-hitter up. Like the guy on first isn't going to try and steal, and if he does, like whatever.
Right now,
at least you can give it a shot then. But
you gave him second base, and now you're 2 runners in scoring position with just the one out. That's So
now you need you got a 1 and 2 count here. You need the strikeout or any other pop up, or if you want. I'm okay with conceding the 1 run. Oh, thought he had him. Looks like he has something going with that curveball. He's getting some swing and miss with the curveball.
Yeah, for sure. Some uncomfortable looking swings against that pitch.
Maybe you should throw that more.
Yeah, I might go. I might go with it again here.
Can we look right? I went with the two-seamer. Well, it's not terribly placed. Okay.
Yeah, you can afford to miss here because you're ahead in the count, but if he's not careful, he's gonna give this at bat away.
Yeah, I'd throw the curveball again right here. Well, he threw it.
There was, yeah.
He threw it, and he was looking for it because he was out in front of it, but he made solid contact. All right, 2-2. What do we go with here, Jared? Or the fastball?
I think you have to because he's clearly looking for that curveball.
Well, he went with it.
He went
over the high. Now I think he's going to go back to that comebacker inside. That comes back in.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go to that.
Down in toward his knees.
Yeah. He's seen a lot of pitches here. Decent at bat. Oh, he did it. Actually looked right for once. God. Got 40 pitches on the second. 9-pitch at bat here. It's not walking guys, but he's not fooling people either.
Right. So he's, not a lot of quick outs.
Yeah. He needs to get out of this inning and then get a couple quick innings in there if he's going to at least give him 5. God, that's not even close. All right, this is a big moment in the game here already. Second inning, 3-2 count. Brooks Lee's seen 10 pitches,
and of course, the more pitches he sees, the more dangerous this gets.
Damn.
Yeah, he's not he's really not fooling him with anything.
We need a Tommy Hotovy mound visit.
Right. If he let's see what he does after this pitch.
Yeah. Popped him up. Stay in. Ugh. Well, let's do it again.
We're at runners at second and third, 1 out. Very, very long at bat.
Yeah, 11 pitches now.
Yeah.
Have a brief moment in between.
See
that? I conceded the run.
That would have been your double play ball.
Would have been the double play ball. Like I said, I'd take this. It just, man, he threw a lot of pitches to one guy.
Took a ton of pitches to get this one out.
Like they desperately need him to go 5. They desperately need him to find a way to go 5. Oh man, he was that close to catching it on the comeback. I'm glad that he didn't at least just nip it because that would have.
It's right.
That would have made it tough.
Yeah. Well, here's your Hotovy visit.
We got the Hotovy mound visit.
Yeah, sitting back down now. That pitch count sitting at 44. Wow. So it was first and third.
Yeah.
How?
So we had a
pickoff attempt at third base.
Okay. And it bounced off of Paredes' wrist.
Yeah.
And we stayed close enough that the runner at third didn't score, but then your runner at first got to second base, took away your double play ball.
Yeah.
And actually, like I said, that ball just now, that would have been easy double play.
Yeah, pickoff attempts at third, man. That's never a great idea.
That's the same thing we said is, I don't think I like even trying that in that situation.
Well, the runner's not going anywhere, right? He stopped.
Right.
But gotta wear it.
That didn't miss by much. Yeah, he's going to be lucky to be at 50 pitches to get out of this inning. Doesn't bode well for making it 5 innings today.
Yeah. Oh my God. Nice catch.
There we go. All
I
right,
legitimately thought that was one of those bloop shots.
It looked like it. It looked like he hit it off the handle. Weak contact.
Yeah. A little scary coming off the bat.
All right, so 50 pitches through 2. What possibly could get worse?
Yeah, that's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Need some short innings.
Yeah, we need a couple first pitch swinging ground balls to Dansby or Nico. All right. Well, we got 66 people watching right now. Shout out to y'all on a Wednesday during the day. I'm just gonna assume that none of you are at your job. You decided to take the day off because you want to hang out with us. Credit to you all.
And drink Blue Moon.
And drink, shout out to Blue Moon. We're drinking Blue Moon. We're watching this baseball team. What left of delusion that we have. I'm going through the chat here. Let's see. Sean says hi to Kevin, but Kevin's not here for me to tell him that.
Cam was saying, I wonder what kind of trade offers the Cubs can get for. Am I saying this?
Paredes.
Yeah, Paredes in the offseason.
I don't think Paredes going anywhere after they just traded for him.
Yeah.
However, it would be wild. It would be absolutely wild. It would have to be like one of those blockbuster, massive, stars coming to the team or whatever.
If you're going to turn around and flip them in the offseason.
Right.
Which that's another thing that we talked about. Brandon and I talked about on Sunday night was you do have some of these minor leaguers that are at AAA now who these are infielders and you have to find some at bats for them.
I think the interesting thing about Paredes though is that he can play some first base too.
Yeah.
Not that he should be playing first base over Michael Busch. I'm just saying that it's a long 162 game season.
There's some flexibility.
And the DH makes it possible to do that. I think, I've talked about it before, they have a big decision at second base this offseason, and they need to figure out, for instance, Mike Tauchman's at the plate right now. Is he a trade piece this offseason, Or even if Bellinger opts in, you can still potentially trade him if you want to.
I think, I think you could, whether he's a part of a bigger deal or if it's just you flip him for a couple of, obviously not going to be high level prospects, but you can bolster the farm system a little bit because I think by now the league knows he's a solid hitter, plays good defense in multiple spots in the outfield. By all appearances, a really good clubhouse guy.
Yeah, Tauchman had a 2-0 count and just pops it up. Whatever. This happened last inning. He got the first guy out pretty quickly.
One quick one, yeah.
We got Nico and Dansby coming up who've been hitting well. So what I find interesting about Joe Ryan is he throws his fastball just like Pablo Lopez, 40, 45, 46% of his pitch usage is just fastballs. Nico and Dansby, good fastball hitters. They both had good games yesterday. So I think Joe Ryan is better than Pablo Lopez, but I'd watch out for Nico and Dansby today to maybe continue the hot hitting.
Right. This could be the part of the lineup that's going to help do some damage.
DJ Ray Martinez said that he actually did call off today. So
good for you.
Good for you, dude.
I hope you've got some Blue Moon to to throw down the hatch.
All right, 0-2 count. Oh, ugh. Why did he go after that pitch? I mean, why? Because it's a good pitch. Did you have to? No, but you're trying to protect.
Yeah.
Ugh. That ball was not going to be a strike. It didn't look like it was going to be.
No, it looked like it was going to tail out of the zone there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how did he even hit that? Oh, and then he what just happened describes the 2024 season right there.
He's tripped over his own bat.
He tripped over his own bat, man. Ugh.
All right, here's Dansby. 2 outs, so that's what you don't want to do after Assad spent so much time on the mound is
go
not
1-2-3.
Right, go 1-2-3 and some quick at bats and send him right back out there. Give him a chance to take a break here, but Cubs are being kind of aggressive here. A lot of swinging early in counts.
Nico and Dansby both down 0-2 in the count. Swanson's been a lot better in the second half of the season.
Sure has, yeah.
I felt like it started beginning of July in general, but second half has been, in general, been very good for him. And I mean, that's just what they need. His OPS finally went over 650, so now I got to get to 700. I've asked for him to just be a league average hitter with that defense that he gives them.
Yeah,
just be a league average hitter. He's been a league average hitter. Actually, he's been better than a league average hitter over the stretch. You know what I mean, though. Like, just
right. His overall season number. That's what you're looking for. Well, that's disappointing. That's a short inning.
A very
at the plate.
short inning. Yeah.
Now
I'll say this about the ass man though: the guy grinds, and I feel like when adversity comes, he just kind of figures it out. So, because again, there's a reason that he has coming in today, he had a 3.19 earned run average, and
I think
just in the rotation in general, he just
right.
finds a way. So I think these next 2 innings are very key for him if he's going to at least give them 5. He needs some short innings. He needs some quick at bats.
I think this is the one here. This third inning is the one that has to be quick.
Yeah. If not, he's gonna go maybe 4 innings today.
Right. But I think to his credit, like all things considered, he's really limited the damage nicely, given how both the first and second innings unfolded. I mean, the fact that he's only given up 2 runs, he deserves a lot of credit for limiting that damage. But yeah, now the question is going to be, can he stretch this as much as possible so you're not putting too much on your bullpen?
He needs a quick inning himself. That'll kind of shift the momentum a little bit in the Cubs' way. You got PCA and Bethancourt coming up in the bottom of the third. Honestly, just for like momentum purposes, he needs a quick inning, and just for confidence for him as well.
One good thing I think that about Thursday being an off day is that if you do have to rely on your bullpen to pick up a lot of innings today, knowing that you've got that off day tomorrow, where everybody's going to get a day off before a night game on Friday night against the White Sox, like you're going to have a pretty well rested bullpen no matter what. So so you might see a quick hook for Assad just because of that.
Sure.
Where Counsell knows I can push my bullpen a little bit today, because again, off day on Thursday. Sure. So we'll see.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, that's a quick at bat.
That's good.
You hit it hard, but right for it out. We'll take it. All right. Dave says in the chat, Cubs have 6 pitchers that didn't throw last night and an off day tomorrow, so no reason the pen can't go 5 to 6.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave, for taking a look at that. Because it is, especially knowing that like there were several guys that didn't throw last night, aren't going to need to do anything tomorrow.
Well, that's a good pitch. There you go.
Maybe depending on how it goes, like Assad goes 4 and you're like, all right, that's all we need from you today. Let's go to our bullpen. That's a good pitch. That's a
All
great
right.
pitch.
We got ahead here. So it was Miranda who drove in that run.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was Royce Lewis, just because he'd been hitting third the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1-2 count here on Miranda. Oh, yeah, there we go, Jared. Catch the ball, Busch.
This is going exactly the way that you wanted to.
See, there you go.
Short at bats, quick
Short
outs.
at bats. Okay. You just need one more out here. Lernick, I think, is the one who drove in that run. I think. Which, by the way, this guy's really impressed me. Especially in the... Or no, it's Wallner. My bad. God, they all... Oh, fuck.
Well...
He kind of leaned into it, but, you know, they're not going to look at that. Are they going to challenge it?
I think you were right. Like, it
looked like he leaned into it.
He did a little bit. Like, that sure was...
They're not going to do anything.
It's at least worth, like, a pause because...
Yeah.
I mean, this was hardly...
He leaned into that, dude.
He's hardly trying to get out of the way. I'll say that. It may not be a blatant, like, he leaned in to get this one, but he sure wasn't trying to get out of the way.
Sure.
It's one where you know it's coming at your elbow guard, so you're like, all right, whatever. I'll wear this one.
Come on, ump.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Okay, well, they got Jeffers up here. He grounded out his first time. I think he's the one who ground out to end the first. So. DJ Ray Martinez says he pulled a Rizzo.
Yeah.
That is hit very far, but
scary
foul ball. All right, so he's ahead 1-2 here. But he had like 49 pitches after the third.
He was sitting like 48, 49 after the third.
He's got 57 right here with 2 strikes on Jeffers. So a chance to throw less than 10 pitches this inning. There you go, got him. Let's go.
Oh, there. I was a little bit of hesitation on that strike call, but there it is.
He definitely leaned into that, man.
That's that.
But either way, less than 10 pitch inning. They need it. They need it.
Pretty much the result that we were hoping for. So
yes,
I think now fairly easily you can get 4 innings out of Assad.
Yeah,
without too much trouble. Maybe let him get into the 5th and just see how things go.
Cam says, extend Assad, Cub for life.
I mean, I'll say this. Assad might be one of the most well-liked guys in that clubhouse. I know I've said it before, but it's worth repeating.
I love the vibes. I do love the vibes. I always tweet that picture of him in the dugout on the days he pitches. He just looks like a gamer, man.
Yeah.
And I always think about his performance he had in the WBC last year when he was with Mexico, and he pitched against Team USA and just shoved it. Shoved it against Team USA. And I was like, you put this guy in a high leverage playoff atmosphere out of the bullpen, he might be a guy. Might be a guy. Just because he just gives off that aura. Like, there's nothing that really, like, I think he's a fine pitcher. I think he can have starts. He can have appearances where he looks really good. It's not consistent in terms of being that elite, but for a guy that no one really knew of until 2 years ago,
right?
Like, he's turned himself into a really solid major league pitcher. You know, like, you could have worse dudes.
Oh, for sure, sure.
So
for somebody who's your mid rotation guy, maybe you know closer to your 4 starter. I
truly believe when this pitching staff is at full health, he would be like kind of like what Drew Smyly is in your bullpen. And he could also come out there and pitch like a 7th inning for you too. He proved that last year that they just used him in every single role. There's a reason that Mark Leiter Jr. said that he was like the best pitcher in baseball, or one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Because he just goes out,
versatile, man.
Does whatever they ask him to do, and does it well.
All right, PCA, we got 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. If he just hits a homer here, I'll win my bet. Let's go. Oh, out in front on that one. He was looking fastball at first pitch.
Sure was.
So I said it earlier, last 7 games, hitting .333, slugging over 500. He's been fun to watch, man. Ooh. All right, down 0-2. Now, his K rate has significantly gone down over this little stretch as well, so he's not striking out. So he's down 0-2 now. See how he adjusts to this at bat. And, Ryan's a good pitcher, so.
This has been an area of struggle for him before, falling behind quickly, and then.
God, freak.
Well,
did he foul it?
He fouled it off. Like,
at first, I thought he missed it.
Yeah, that ball went up so quickly. It's hard to tell. Okay. Yeah, in the past, like he would fall behind on some bad swings early, and then really take himself out of an at bat quickly.
Good take. Good take.
Fouled one off. Takes a
ball.
Is
Ryan okay? Uh-oh. Yeah, he just waved for the trainer to come out. This could be the big developing news here. Oh, buddy. What are these guys talking about? Yeah. While we're waiting, can you all hit the like button? We got 64 watching, only 32 likes. Make that make sense, folks.
Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you joined us for this watch along, but you're not a subscriber on YouTube, you can take care of that pretty quickly. Yeah. Subscribe to CHGO. Yeah, he called for that trainer really quickly.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah. Oh, they're taking him out.
So that's
huge.
Very, very big.
This is huge. I know the Twins bullpen is good, but
you're losing your starter.
You're losing your starter, in the 3rd inning.
Got to wonder what he's feeling. That while we wait to see who Minnesota gets warmed up to come out there, if you're subscribing to YouTube, you might as well head to Instagram too.
Oh, yes. We are 169 followers away from 2,000.
2,000.
Thank you for setting me up on that. I wanted to bring that up.
The CHGO Cubs Instagram account, which is a lot of fun to follow, puts out great content. So, if you're on the Instagram, hit follow on CHGO Cubs. It's CHGO_Cubs, I believe.
Yes. And then the CHGO Sports Instagram is also there.
And follow us there too.
Obviously, me, Ryan, Luke, you, we're all on Instagram too. If you don't follow us there, we just we put up. I think the content we put up on Instagram is a lot different than on Twitter. So
just follow us on Twitter. That's what I like about it is the Twitter experience, the Instagram experience is not exactly the same, so you don't necessarily feel like you're getting just a repeat of the same stuff. Honestly, I think the Instagram stuff is fun. Some of the videos, you get some of those like the cuts from the podcast where you can see a 60-second clip from one of the shows. If you missed a show and didn't get to see the whole thing, you can catch like some highlights and stuff like that. So check us out on Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube.
Okay. Dave says Ryan's out. Mann, MANN, who's coming in apparently. He just deleted his comment. At least it's not showing up anymore.
It says Ryan Al Mann ERA 5.40 over last 10 games and 6.17 since All-Star game. Huge break for the Cubs.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason it went away on my screen, but thank you, Sarah. So, Minnesota ERA is what he's meant to say.
That's a pretty
6.17 since All-Star break.
It's quite a shift in momentum potentially for the Cubs here.
Sure.
You have to keep an eye out for injury updates there and just find out what's going on.
Trevor Richards coming in. Admittedly, when I read that out, all I could think about was Cubs legend Clayton Richards.
I thought the same thing. So you're not alone.
Who remembers Clayton Richards? I think that's his name, right?
Yeah,
Clayton Richards?
Yeah.
Former Padre. I think he
Former
pitched with the
Padre.
Cubs in 2015.
He was on that, and I believe he was on the World's. No, he was
He
not.
wasn't on the World Series.
He was
team.
not on the World Series.
Yeah.
He was not. He was a part of that group that got traded either during the 2015 offseason or at the deadline. So,
Yeah.
these poor guys just missed out.
Kevin,
What's the
do you remember Cubs legend Clayton Richards?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Cub
right.
for life?
Cub for
Clayton
life.
Richards?
How's the
Cub
burger?
for life.
Yeah, what's the review on the
Yeah, what's
So-
the review?
Family
They were
Farms
frozen, so they took a little bit longer to cook all the way through.
Mhm.
They're not bad. So these have bacon, there's some peppers, and then there's embedded mozzarella cheese in there.
Oh
so
my goodness. I'm going to get over there and
It's,
get back in a little bit.
it's not bad.
You throw a little mustard on there, it looks
Yeah, I
like.
put a little mustard on there, a
Nice,
little extra
nice.
flavor.
I'm a mustard guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know with chicken. It's always a little bit more difficult to grill
Yes.
because you got to get it all the way through. You got to keep it,
Yeah.
not dry it out. So it's fine. I like them.
Why was it so chaotic out on the family farms patio?
Yeah, people
There was
were
a lot
laughing.
of screaming earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
People
Um,
coming and
said, "I'm
going.
not
Sean,
sure."
Sean was a little worried about me trying to cut the packages open because the packages are like vacuum shut. So I had to kind of get in there with the spatula to cut them up because they were frozen. It was like a brick. It's like 4 of these things put together.
Emma
That's
was
exactly.
like,
then
she
that's
couldn't
why.
even be
That's
out
why
there.
Emma was standing over here laughing because I was like, "What
Okay.
is she laughing at?"
I know. I was wondering the same thing.
Shout out to the farms though. They make a good
Family
they make a good
Farms.
chicken sandwich.
Oh yeah,
Love it.
brother.
They
It's
gave us a
good.
beautiful patio too.
Sean Caselli, a huge supporter of this podcast, comes to Friday 120s. He's come to a couple of our watch parties. He said his name is Clayton Richard, not Richards.
Yes.
There's no
Yes,
S.
you're right. Clayton Richard. Our apologies.
The last watch party he came to, he was wearing a Todd Walker jersey.
Wow.
Second base legend Todd
And then the
Walker.
one
Wow.
before that, he had a Mark Grzelcyk jersey on.
Wow. That's
middle infield guy, huh?
Yeah.
and yeah. From a bygone Cubs era. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
respect it.
I saw what's his name, Matt Linder.
Yeah.
He was tweeting yesterday. Nomar Garciaparra played 105 games with the Chicago Cubs, but for some reason at this Cubs game, I've seen at least 20 Nomar Garciaparra jerseys or something
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
There's like I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of something like that. It just cracks me up.
You know that those are people that bought that jersey
take.
at the trade. Like when he got traded, they traded for him
Yeah,
because they were all excited. And at the time, justifiably so.
justifiably so. He was one of the
And-
best shortstops in the game.
They bought that jersey, and because those jerseys are expensive, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, this is the one I've got now.
Oh, PCA, let's
nice
go!
at bat. What a great at bat!
He was down 0-2, worked it to 3-2, then hits one 100 miles an hour through the hole. We're halfway to the bet.
And that's exactly like we were talking about before Joe Ryan, exited the game. Is the way that PCA is developing at the plate, I think, is what you're seeing in this at bat here. Where he fell behind early, but worked his way back into the at bat and then gets something productive out of it. In this case, it's a single. Really nice at bat from PCA there.
Christian Bethancourt.
He's shown a few back-to-back now. Yesterday, working with a 2-strike count at the end of the game and going the other way with a pitch on the outer half, and then this one gets one to the pull side and really ropes it into right center. I mean, I really like the fact that he's using both fields.
Yeah.
As a young hitter, there he goes.
Pete.
No problem.
He's
for him.
22 stolen bases.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
And yeah, you have to love the damage that he does in the base pass when he gets on like this.
He didn't even get a good jump there. That's like
No.
how crazy. See, he was kind of leaning back.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize
Look at him lean right- and then
this
he
was
took
the
off.
starting inning, too, so they have a man on second with 0 out. Bethancourt, 2-0 count. That was a good 2-0 pitch to take.
Yeah.
You could have gone either way there. It was borderline.
Well, and it's such a tough one too because of the placement of that. Like you're even if you do put a swing on it, what are you gonna
What are you going to do with it? God damn it, Bethencourt. Why?
Did go on that one, huh? Yep.
If you're Pete, are you trying to get to third?
Not with no outs.
Yeah,
no.
not with no outs.
He's unstoppable.
Right. Maybe if there was.
Let's see. I'm looking
if
at him here. Oh, he's playing with him. No. Good take. Good take, Christian.
Great take.
You're becoming a real Cubs legend these last couple weeks, man. All right. We got another full count here. Nice. He works a walk.
Really?
All right.
Okay.
Wow, that's a huge mistake by Joe Ryan there. That's the one guy in the lineup you want to pitch to. Yeah, or Richards, excuse me.
You missed it.
That's the one guy that you should have been able to get an out.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Yeah.
This is you needed to
Now
get this out.
I got Happer up here.
Maybe
Maybe I'm being a little over aggressive, but I'd love to see Pete try and steal third and then Hap be in position to just RBI ground out or sack fly.
If you didn't have your catcher on first, maybe you go for the double steal perhaps, but it's probably it's over aggressive this early in the game.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough.
But at least for Pete, who
I also just want to win a bet too.
There's that. That's an important factor.
Which is fair. I mean,
oh God,
tough.
Run, Happer.
That's tough.
Okay, all right. Okay, he ran it out.
Yeah.
Fielder's choice.
Okay.
So we got first and third with one out. You got Busch coming up, who's already hit a homer. You got Seiya coming up. You got to get Pete.
You have to here.
You have to get Pete.
Wow, he smoked that ball. Dang. So here's the opportunity, Cody. If you wanted to put the steal on with one out and the hit and run on the guy on first base with the guy at Busch at the plate, this is an opportunity where it makes a little bit of sense. But you are still trailing in the game, so it's a button that I don't know if I'm pushing if I'm Craig, but this was the type of scenario in the game where you might look into that.
Okay. Oh, Busch going after that first pitch. It was up. A good pitch to go after. You try to hit a fly ball here.
Well, the one thing in the last at bat I was thinking about with that double steal, with Ian Happ batting on the left side, I don't like it as much because the catcher has just a clear shot at third base there if he decides to try to get PCA there. But again, I'm a fan of a little bit of aggressiveness on the base pass when you have the guys that can do it.
Yeah,
it's a very, very good take there.
Good take there by Richards. Or Busch, sorry. All right, got a 1-1 count here. Good take. Good take again. So now you're in a hitter's count. 2-1.
You ever just watch a baseball game and you watch a pitch and you're like, man, if that were me in the box, I would have swung so hard and missed it that pitch. That was one of those for me. I would have been out of my shoes trying to hit that one. Off speed, had most of the zone, and dipped at the last second.
All right. 2-2 count here. Now the worst scenario, he strikes out, which he's known to do. Best case scenario,
get it in play at least into the outfield.
Worst case scenario, strikeout or a pop out. But we need something here. Good take. He didn't go. Did he just steal second?
Sure did.
So
Let's go, Happer.
There you put the hit and run on there, but
didn't even try to throw down there. Okay.
Wow, that was a really nice take by Busch. That's another one it gets most of the zone and then just dips out at the last second. It's a big opportunity now here.
Here we go, Pete. Let's go, Busch. He's battling here. He's seeing pitches.
I like it. For a guy who's having a good stretch at the plate here, homered in the first inning.
Right. Feeling confident. He has to feel confident right now with how many pitches he's seen plus the homer. You know, he has to be licking his chops here. Ball 4. All right.
That's really good trust in the home plate umpire there. How many times has that happened where that's strike 3 on Busch?
Seriously.
And Seiya, both of those guys.
Oh, for sure. for sure.
All right, now you got bases jacked, 1 out. Your hottest, honestly, one of your hottest hitters at the plate. I realize he now has the highest OPS on the team today, actually.
Suzuki
does, yeah. Yeah. So
the chat pointed that out to me last night when I said Bellinger, when healthy, is this team's best hitter.
Yeah.
And for context, what I really meant by that was, yes, Seiya's having a much better offensive season. There's not a question about that. But Bellinger's back at the baseball card, and the fact that I trust him more in situations to get on base. He has more than one club in the bag. Seiya's got a couple.
He's also a better defender, too.
So,
yeah.
If you're talking about overall player.
I would.
Offensively, I think you can at least argue that Seiya is better, but as situationally, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but just overall this year, I think Seiya's for sure had a better year than Bellinger.
It's a big situational spot for Seiya here. If he can shorten up and put one in the gap like he has been, he might be able to clear the bases. Busch can run.
I'd take a bases-loaded walk as well. He's walked 2 in the inning already. You start him off 1-0. Here we go. Seiya flew out last time up. 835 OPS.
Good take.
Good take.
That's
2-0.
really good take.
Here we go. They can't hear me clapping, but I'm clapping for him. All right, what we got? Oh my goodness,
wow.
that's terrible.
That's egregious.
That's very, very pitcher-friendly call.
That is for sure the worst call of
That's
the day.
pretty bad.
That's egregious.
Robot umpires, brother.
That is
Balls, strikes,
just way
challenge
too high.
system.
Yeah.
Please do not let that come back to haunt us.
Yeah,
Then he doesn't call
Boog
that.
just
All
said
right.
it.
He should be on first base.
That should have been.
This should have been a
ball
bases
4.
loaded walk.
That's too bad because that should have been ball 4.
Well, he's going to get a good pitch to hit here. So Richards went with the 3-2 fastball. Went with the fastball there and Seiya missed it. Oh,
Right down the middle. Pitcher friendly. That sure was pitcher friendly. Good take. Bases loaded walk. There we go.
All right.
And I win a bet.
credit to Cody. He called it.
Let's go.
Credit to Cody. Took a bases loaded walk.
PCA over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and it all happened in 1 inning.
Good old five pitch walk, 5 ball walk. I mean, I think he threw 6 pitches there. One of them had the zone only.
Well, and it's good that missed call didn't come back
Didn't
to
hurt,
turn that at bat, because if Seiya ends up striking out here or something like that, that's even more frustrating. That was a good pitch.
We got a tie game here, folks. All right, Paredes. You just hit one to the moon. Good take. Good take. Ooh, he just hit the opposite way.
That'll score a run.
And he actually kind of hit it deep. Sack fly.
That'll get the job done.
Nice job by Paredes.
That's good situation.
Not
hitting.
Not a double play ball, not a strikeout. Perfect.
And
Take it every time.
Hit it nice and deep so that there was no doubt about it. Hap scores easily from third. Cubs have a lead.
Cubs won the trade.
I did see that last night. A lot of the discourse was, so Morel's only 2 RBIs. I don't know if the Rays are playing right now, and I can't remember what he did last night. But
he went 0 for 4
last night. Okay, so 2 RBIs since the trade, and Paredes now has 5. This is his 5th RBI as a Cub. So Cubs did win the trade.
If we're basing it off not even I guess today would be a full week.
Bangs gavel.
Yeah.
It has been decided. Now, here's a nice opportunity for a 2-out hit from Tauchman. 2-run lead sounds better than a 1-run lead, according to math.
The numbers check out.
Numbers don't lie, brother. Okay.
And if there's a guy who I think can at the very least is going to give you a quality at bat here, Mike Tauchman, and I think good about like just focusing on putting the ball in play.
Ooh, is that a run?
Even better.
Let's go. Wild pitch.
Another wild
Busch
pitch
scores.
leads to a run in the series. There was one of those last night, too. That's one where you're kicking yourself.
Well, now with 2 outs and you've got Paredes at second, a good base hit probably scores him.
That's a tough stop by that. Bounced
Yeah,
foot and a half over the plate there before the plate.
All right. So we really cap off this inning now if Tauchman just gets a knock here. To say is on second.
I say, yeah, you get a base hit here. You're
have a 3-run lead. Makes it a little bit easier for Assad going into the 4th. He's had some time to rest. He's coming off a nice inning. Good take. Good take. How the hell did that umpire make such a bad call, but then doesn't call that?
Right, like he's
good. How are the sandwiches? Solid. Okay, good. I was a little worried. Mario, did you have a sandwich? How are they? Good. Okay.
All right, 3-1 count for Talk.
What are you worried about?
Another walk.
That's
4 walks.
You know, whenever I cook for like a bunch of people I've never cooked for, I'm always like,
is he just really blonde?
I want to make sure they're good. So
here we go.
Yeah, were they good? Do you like them? Oh, okay.
I had a couple bites. Yeah.
You like it?
It was good.
Okay. That wasn't.
She just said I had a couple bites.
Yeah. That wasn't the rule of approval I was looking for. Addie likes them. I think Mario said they were good. We'll see. I might have another one. I didn't really. This one's solid. I think I burned the end of it, but.
Yeah, no. I'll be curious to see what the word on Joe Ryan is, because that. I've got a feeling you look back on this game in particular and say,
yeah,
there's the Twins having to go to their bullpen.
And we can, if the Cubs go on to win this game, there will undoubtedly be people who say, oh, well, if Ryan didn't get hurt or whatever. Listen, man, if you've watched every single game like I have this year, there have been plenty of things that have not gone the Cubs' way, okay? And it starts with opening day, Justin Steele getting hurt in the first game of the season, okay? And that led to a domino effect of your bullpen being overused and starting pitching being not as good to start the season. Like, there's plenty of things, and every team has to deal with these types of things, you know? So you take advantage of breaks when you can.
That's
this Cubs team that I know, this guy would have came in and just finished off the inning. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you got to take advantage of breaks when they happen, man.
Exactly.
Nico with an 0-2 count here. Doesn't strike out a lot.
Shoot it to right field.
That's where he likes to go.
Oh, another one.
Oh, man.
Wow, another wild pitch. Dude, this was the wrong guy for Rocco Baldelli to bring in, dude.
Yeah.
This is bad. He's got 36 pitches. And he's leaving him in because they're probably hoping that he could have given him a couple innings.
He's missed pretty badly on a few of these. That was another one.
That was bad.
I think they were probably hoping for a couple innings from him, and I can't imagine he sees the mound in the 4th. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, he's hurting.
He's missing big.
And who pitched for them yesterday? It was Pablo Lopez. I don't remember how many innings he pitched, but they had to use their bullpen some yesterday too. So
I think
don't
Lopez
know
went 5 or 6, somewhere in between there.
Yeah. Oh, he hit it. Okay. I don't know what it's the lighting on the TV or whatever, but I feel like he
look like they're getting through.
That looked like he just swung and missed at it. How's the chat feel?
Do we have a third wild pitch in the inning on your bingo card? Let's hear it for the third wild pitch.
Give me a knock to right field, Nico. I only tried to. Okay. 2-2 count for Nico. 2 outs. 4-2 Cubs. 3-2 count. Did I just do my best Pat Hughes or just play-by-play guy?
It's pretty solid.
Let's hear it again.
Pretty solid.
Well, now you're putting all the pressure on me.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear it.
Fun fact, when I was in college, I did broadcast. Like, I did play-by-play broadcasting for a semester. Oh, another walk. Is that the 5th walk?
And
oh, my God. If you're an infielder or whoever for the Twins, like, you're just freaking sick and tired of being sick and tired at this point. Here comes Rocco Baldelli
when
now.
Baldelli now, like, I lose my starter in this inning. Now I had to go to this guy who, again, probably hoping to get multiple innings from. He can't even make it out of the 3rd.
Right.
That's rough.
I was gonna say, what happened to Joe Ryan?
He threw a pitch and then immediately signaled for the trainer.
Yeah.
Was walking around just fine. So my guess is it's
maybe a leg injury.
Something that he knew right away. Something's wrong, and they pulled him pretty fast. He didn't even throw any test pitches, if I remember right. No test pitches. He was just like, I'm done. So
that's a tough blow for a team that has struggled to pitch in the second half too. Their starting rotation's been towards the bottom of the league, and Joe Ryan has been, Pablo Lopez was their game 1 starter in the playoffs last year, and I think, the way it was shaping up this year, Joe Ryan was arguably their best starting pitcher, if I'm not mistaken. He's right up there. So that's a big blow to them, especially when they're only sitting a game and a half up right now in the wild card. So they have something to play for in this game. I think that's the important part of the series. The Cubs are playing against a playoff caliber team, a team that is in the postseason picture as it stands today. And they're also playing against a team that's like, dude, we need to win. We don't have a cushion here. I mean, they're only a game and a half up, and they play in a very competitive division. So
that's for sure, because the way the Royals have looked coming out of the All-Star break, that puts a lot of pressure on Minnesota. So yeah, they've got quite a bit riding on this game too.
We got a super chat from our friend Corey. It says, I may be out of the loop, but is there any chance Cade Horton pitches for the varsity this year?
For the varsity, as in for the Cubs?
Who did this? Sorry, read that again.
I may be out of the loop, but is there any chance Cade Horton pitches for the varsity this year?
I just know he's been in Arizona.
I don't think so.
They still haven't sent him back to Iowa. So I would say at this point, it feels like a no.
It's not looking likely.
No,
and I don't know. Like, I feel like when he got hurt back in June, they all said, like, he could potentially return in August. But, like, that's just to Iowa, and I don't know how.
There's other guys that would come up before him.
Right.
Based off the fact that he's been hurt.
Yeah, at this moment in time, just solely because of the injury, not skill level.
It's so disappointing, too, because he was killing it in Iowa. He had looked everything the part of being that first-round pick, being the best pitcher taken in the draft.
Yeah, he'll be here next year.
Yeah, I just need him to stay healthy, man. Like,
he
excites me. He gives me a lot of excitement. Dansby!
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, well. He almost came off the bag there. Yeah. All right, well, the Cubs
still a productive
put
inning.
Up 3 runs that inning.
Hit it hard.
Yeah, hit it hard.
Yeah, I like the question about Cade Horton. I just think, given all of the circumstances, I just don't see a benefit to pushing that.
Oh, he almost didn't touch the bag there.
I know. He
that ball was inches away from being in right field, too.
Right.
All right. Well, no, you're right, though. Cade Horton, it's disappointing because, I mean, all of the prospect hype that he's had has been Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood-esque. I mean, that comparison's been made a million times across a variety of podcast platforms, radio, whatever it is. But it's true. I mean, the Cubs have not had a guy of that echelon in a long time. And
yeah,
I'm pretty confident in saying, should he go through and have a healthy winter here and finish the season strong here, we'll see if he gets back to Iowa at some point. I'm pretty confident in saying he'll start the season next year on the big league roster. I think it's going to be close.
I think spring training and the way he pitches in spring will probably go a long way toward that decision. But I think
certainly,
I bet, to your point, I bet that they will go into spring planning for him to be on the major league roster. So it might be a question of, like, does he pitch himself off of the major league roster in spring or something along those lines. Because I think you're right. I would imagine you go into 2025 expecting to have Horton on your pitching staff.
Yeah, the ramp up period certainly has to be. It has to. Jed, and even before Council got here, Jed is super regimented about bringing guys up and when to bring guys up. They have to hit every box. So you're right. If he does, we'll see how spring training goes. But a lot to be excited about, especially when, this is overwhelmingly very likely. This is Kyle Hendricks last year in a Cubs uniform. So that rotation spot opens up. You like where Jordan Wick slots in. You're going to have a lot of options next year. But Cade Horton, certainly a starting pitcher. I think those other guys you can tool around with a little bit. But the guy of Horton's caliber is certainly going to take precedence once he's ready to take a rotation spot. So he will not be a bullpen guy.
All right, nice long rest for Assad in that third inning. So we'll see.
Where's his pitch count at here?
He was sitting just under 60.
He had like 50.
Now.
He had like 57
so
pitches. So yeah,
that's a good recovery there.
Danny Parkins in the booth. Why is Danny Parkins in the booth?
Don't know.
So they're doing a radiothon, a 24-hour radiothon, Stand Up to Cancer.
Oh, okay.
They did this last year where he's on literally on the air for 24 hours. Not like it. Him, and he has a bunch of guests. I think Jamison Tyone is one of his guests.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I think I heard this radio ad.
Cancer survivor. So
Parkins is on the air for 24 straight hours.
Yeah, with guests.
Wow. And now he's starting that.
Yeah, they did it last year, and I don't know when. I don't know. No, he's going to start it at some point here in the next couple. I can't remember exactly when it is, but it'll be on 670. It won't be on Cubs or anything. But
okay,
I would assume that's what they're talking about.
Real quick out there for Assad there.
Yeah, and follow up with a short fourth inning. That.
Speaking of Danny Parkins, though, he's wearing like the polo and everything, and like when I think of him now, all I think about is whenever I saw him in Vegas last year when we went out there to Circa, and the score was out there too, and we were out at Stadium Swim, like all the media that was out there, we're all out there for the same thing related to like football and stuff and sports betting, and Danny Parkins was in like a Bulls road uni, like Derrick Rose jersey, I want to say, like out at the pool, and he's wearing sunglasses, and he just looked like a vibe. And now I'm like, every time I see like the clips from the score on social media or just in this moment now, like him wearing a polo, it's just like, that's not the Danny Parkins that I've seen.
So you've seen casual Parkins.
Yeah.
I like that he rocks like the vintage Bulls jersey.
You're not lying to me. Cool. It is good.
Yeah.
Sean Anderson likes the chicken sandwich.
Kind of.
Yeah, I had to really sit them on there for a while because they were frozen solid. So
I may have to, after this half inning, I may sneak over and grab one.
I'm gonna get one too. We need a shutdown inning from Assad here. That'd be huge.
I met Danny Parkins when I was a senior in college. I was visiting the Score Studios, just kind of getting my way into the industry, just kind of shaking hands and everything. And he was still doing the show with Danny Mac.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that show was great, and obviously the Parkins and Spiegel show is also great. Here you go. Cubs for a Cure Radiothon.
So that's next week, next Thursday.
So they're promoting it.
Thursday to Friday. Okay.
Nice.
And I know, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but I know Danny's brother had glioblastoma, and he passed away from that either last year or the year before that. So I know that this is something that's super important to him.
It's close to his heart. Okay.
His brother Brad. So
well, Assad just walked the guy, so that's not good. Ideally, we get a double play ball here.
Who's up the plate for the Twins?
The 8 hitter, Martin. Come on, Assad. You got a 2-run lead. You were given a 2-run lead. You had the rest. Okay. Foul ball.
Okay.
Foul ball.
Just taking a
1-1. 72 pitches for Assad now. Eesh. Ground ball. Oh, Dansby.
Nice
Great
play.
play.
Oh my
Great
God.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Put that
Wow.
put that headset on, Counts.
Oh,
wow.
He looked
Let's see it.
They looked like they might
Let's
have had
see
him at
that
first.
replay.
They looked like they might have had him at first there.
Oh, they're not going to
Nothing.
challenge it.
Darn.
That was an insane
That was
play
a-
by
that-
Swanson.
Really just.
How about
that's
the bare
incredible.
hand by Nico here?
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
the barehanded. He
That's-
reaches
Yeah,
down.
Nico bare
That's
hand.
vintage Swanson
there.
That was
corner up
close.
the middle, man.
That was close.
That
Wow.
was unreal.
That's some incredible defense right there.
That
That's-
certainly
yeah.
helps Assad out to at least get an out there.
Trade Matt Shaw. I'm joking.
All right, Brooks Lee gave Assad a really tough at bat last time. I think he saw like 11 or 12 pitches. I think he ended up
Yeah,
hitting
this was the
sac
long,
fly.
long at bat
And
in
he-
the second inning. So let's see.
Oh, yeah,
how-
he hit the ground ball that ended up being fielder's choice or RBI ground out, whatever. So he needs this out here because you got top of the order coming up. You already got a runner on first.
Feels like regardless, this should be Assad's last inning.
I agree. I think it has to be. But that's, we were talking earlier about the fact that
Popped up pretty quickly. There you
Okay.
go.
That should be your
74
third out.
pitches,
Yeah.
75 pitches.
So I
Well
don't
done.
Do you right? Do you let Assad start the fifth and see how,
Top of the order would be the third time through.
or do you just say you gave us 4 innings, we've got the lead, let's
You got a fresh bullpen pretty much.
bullpen's fresh. We were talking about
see
it
how many
earlier.
runs you score maybe in this. And this
Yeah.
is interesting. I don't know how Council's thinking this, but I think that it would be more so he's probably more inclined to see how many runs they put up this inning if they do put up any. But I could be completely wrong on this, but I would imagine just kind of the control issues he's had and going third time through that this would
It's
be a
risky.
prime opportunity
Yeah.
to your bullpen's not heavily taxed right now. You're playing the White Sox next, so you're
You got an
probably not
off
going to
day
have to tax your
tomorrow.
bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, off day tomorrow, exactly. So
Well, we were talking about that earlier with the off day tomorrow, where there's really not much reason to push Assad
no.
today.
So
Especially if the Cubs give you a little bit more of a cushion here. It's
for the
easy
season, for those interested, I'm looking it up on Assad's MLB.com page. But in the 5th inning, he has a 2.45 earned run average on the season. And that's in 14 2/3 of innings
Pretty
pitched.
good. Okay.
That includes 10 strikeouts. Or no, that includes 10 walks. Sorry, I was reading the wrong column. But, yeah, I mean, top of the order. I guess I could go to his Fangraphs page and see what he's been through the third time through the order. What you were saying, though, Kevin, it's like if you wait to see if they score any runs, it's like, well, you might be waiting too long and you might have to throw out Assad out there anyway. So I feel like you basically have to make the decision now.
I think, yeah.
Maybe get 2 guys up, and then you can roll with whoever you feel confident with the 2-run lead more so, I guess.
Honestly, I think.
Or you go with the other guy that if they do score runs, lower leverage situation, maybe you want to roll with him,
I think the way that the way things are lined up with the bullpen being rested, off day tomorrow, Kevin, like you said, the White Sox coming up, I think there's more.
Pete?
It's a well-hit
dead
ball,
center.
but
Oh.
not quite enough on
Oh.
it.
He knows he just missed it too.
Yep.
He knows
Happened
it.
yesterday, too.
Yeah.
102 off the bat, just a little bit underneath it. Love the way he's swinging the bat, though. He just looks like a different hitter, man.
He sure does.
These last 2 weeks, he just looks. You just saw the defeated look in his face.
We should have mentioned that that entire 3-run inning was ignited by PCA.
PCA really going down 0-2 and then battling back, getting that single.
Sure.
But yeah, I think there's more risk than reward to having Assad go out there in the 5th inning. So I think the smart move is probably just you get your bullpen warming up right now, decide who you want to take over, and turn the game over to the bullpen for the last 5 innings.
All right.
We'll see what Counsell
Javier
does.
Assad, 3rd time through the order. He has... Well, hitters are hitting .295 against him. What's interesting, Christian Bethancourt. What an addition this guy's been.
So he's got a ground rule double, I suppose, or does he get third base there?
He put his hands up. Well, why'd you go after the ball, bro?
So do you... But the question is,
I was going to say, if he just picked that ball up and he saw it, you can't put your hands up, can you? I don't think that's a ground rule.
Well, I think this is.
He put his hands up first, but
I like what Bethancourt did here. Just keep running.
Yeah.
And if they send you back to second or third base, that's fine. But
making him go back, he tried.
Yeah, why not? Because who knows? The umpire may say, "Well, hold on, he pulled the ball out of the ivy," and so there's that.
Yeah, that is the correct ruling to put him at second, but it's interesting. The ball goes in.
is making the case to get more bats, dude. No one predicted him to be as productive as he's been. No one.
No, I think that's
When he hit the homer on Friday, I lost my mind. I was like, "What did I just watch?"
It's a pleasant surprise for sure.
I think any little resemblance of production from that position has been welcomed, right?
Right. It
was a barren wasteland start the year, and not even just to start the year, really most of the year.
Yeah. So hitters hitting .295 against him the 3rd time through the order. But what's interesting is the 2nd time through the order, hitters have a lower batting average than the 1st time through the order. So I don't know how to read it. If you want to go by earned run average, the 3rd time through the order, he's got a 6 ERA. So maybe it might be time.
Yeah.
Just felt like the walks.
If I have to lose a bet, that's fine. Whatever.
Felt like the walks kind of started to creep up there.
Yeah.
Not getting a ton of swing and miss. That's usually a sign.
Oh, Happer, why are you going after that? All right, so you got a runner on second with 1 out here. Top of the order coming up. Ooh, wild pitch. Dude, how many is that?
That has been...
How many do they have?
That's the 3rd of the game.
Third.
Unless I missed one while I was out there. That's the 3rd since I've been sitting here.
I think they had 2 in the previous inning, and so this would be the 3rd. Somebody in the chat can...
One last night, too, that led to a run.
Yeah. It's really hurt the Twins in this afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, Happer.
Yeah, he got all of
Happer.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Let's go. Ian Happ.
Snuck it out.
Just when y'all started, PCA pouring it out. I love the PCA pouring. We need PCA pouring the water gift.
The story is, somebody get Ryan on the horn and have him find out and post game.
Let's go. 105.
How did that ball land in the first row? He hit the crap out of that ball.
I think it must have gone. I'm sure the height on it, maybe it just. But I'm looking at
nice hands there.
Yeah,
with the beer.
Good catch. Well done.
That home run was brought to you by Blue Moon.
That home run was definitely brought to you by Blue Moon. Cheers, folks.
Yeah, now with a 2-run lead here, now you may, if you want to stretch Assad 4-run lead, you might be more inclined to do that. I don't know if that changes Council's thinking, but personally, if I was managing, it wouldn't.
Right.
But
I think, I think maybe under different circumstances, then you're like, all right, let's see how many outs we can get from Assad in the 5th. But bullpen's rested. They've got a day off tomorrow. There's this pretty healthy cushion now. I say roll this thing over to the bullpen.
Man, this is you can't lose this game, man. You cannot let.
You're feeling pretty good, and especially the way your bullpen has been performing.
Right,
you're feeling pretty good about it right now.
They cannot find a way to give this away. This is best case scenario.
Yeah. I'll be curious to find out what happened with Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan's the king of making Joe Mama jokes, so somebody should make a he got hurt, so that wouldn't be very nice, but somebody should make that joke when Ryan comes in here. What happened to Joe? Joe Mama. And you guys aren't in our Slack channel, the people I'm talking to, but Ryan has made those jokes a few times because he's 5 years old.
I think we all have a little bit of a 5-year-old in us, you know. Yeah, I'm not seeing an update on Ryan yet. Typically what happens is when, you know, you're in the press box, they will give you a medical update at some point. Once the team, whatever happens in the clubhouse, they'll call up to the press box, and then, you'll get an announcement. And so I imagine whoever the Twins have here covering this game, once they've got an update, they'll send that out.
All right. Can we go back to back?
Another full count in this game worked by the Cubs. They've done a nice job today.
Yeah, working at bats.
This is, another good at bat here.
Where did my Blue Moon go? Huh.
Did you? I saw you carrying it with you.
I might have left it in the kitchen. I'll go grab it at the half inning.
$18 homers now for Ian Happ.
He's a guy
That's
who
a great pitch.
I feel like when he has his cold stretches, and he gets a ton of flack for it, but
as he is, we can all definitively sit here and agree that he is a streaky hitter.
He's a streaky hitter for sure. But ultimately, you look at what the end result of the season is for him. He has been one of your better hitters over the last several years. Like,
oh, buddy, here we go.
Ooh.
Oh, brother. Oh yeah, brother.
That's
Just
all
one.
I need. This is a quality looking
does-
family
I'm full.
farms.
I ate one. I'm almost done here. I got one more bite. I'm full though. Yeah, enjoy though. Let me know what you think.
Shout out to Family Farms.
Tough play with the sun.
All right.
Made it look easy.
Well, Cubs lead 6-2 after 4.
Cody, can I get that?
Oh, you wanted the mustard? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I guess now we'll get our answer. What does Council do pitching wise?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Family Farms.
Yes, this sandwich brought to you by Family Farms. This beer is brought to you by Blue Moon. This smile is brought to you by the Cubs not hurting me.
Cody does a beer bat if Assad goes back onto the mound.
I support it.
I'm going to do a beer bat if they win this game. I said I'll do beer bats for win or for series wins
Series
at this
wins?
point. They only deserve beer bats for series wins at this point.
Yeah.
No. People think I'm and it's right to think this. People think I'm just a delusional idiot who just chooses to blindly believe in this team. But I also have criticized them plenty. All right.
You have.
And
You've
so
been fair.
this is me meeting halfway because people love the beer bat bit. I like doing them, to be honest with you. And I like watching the Cubs win.
And I think it's fair, though. Like, series wins is more fair because you got to get to 500, right?
Yeah.
And I said this yesterday. I don't think it's an unrealistic expectation of me as a fan objectively covering this team. I think that they should have to win every series to finish out the year. That's the hole that they're in. Is that going to happen? Very likely not. You still got to play the Cleveland Guardians. But aside from them, in this month of August, you should win every single series. Besides, that one is kind of up in the air. This is a team that you win this series, that's great. That's a good team you're playing. But the White Sox, you play the Blue Jays, you're playing the Pirates. The Pirates are above 500, and they're playing a lot better ball.
Yeah.
Still, all series that you need to win.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Absolutely.
Drew Smiley.
Drew Smiley. All right. Pour one out for my Assad over 15.5 outs recorded bet.
I do think this is the right decision.
Yeah, I would agree.
It is.
So shout out Family Farms. That's a good burger.
Yeah, solid.
Nicely grilled as well.
There was some bacon in there and some peppers in there too. Like,
this is good, man.
yeah.
I like it.
So let me just set the scene for y'all. All right. Do my best Pat Hughes here. It's Wednesday. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. The sun is out, and it's not humid. It's not even really like hot. Honestly, it feels like a September day out there. I rode my electric bike down here today.
Yeah.
It feels incredible outside. The Cubs are up 6-2 in the middle innings. If I was at beautiful historic Wrigley Field right now, I would be very inebriated, just to be honest with you, on Blue Moon only. I would have snuck my own Blue Moon in there because they don't sell Blue Moon in there, but I would have snuck my own in somehow, some way. Fun fact, when I was like 23, I snuck in some Jack Daniels and a little bit of in a pint.
I did that during Game 7 of the World Series. I was watching out front of the Irish Oak bar, and I was 19. So I was having a little McDonald's soda with some airplane bottles.
All I'm saying, though, is that, today, these are the best games to go to. Like, if you're at a game like this,
oh, yeah,
this is the best vibe. The best vibe.
So credit to me, then, because I had tickets to go to this game with my buddy Tyler Aki. Shout out Waddle and Sylvie.
Yeah.
He's I think he's at the game right now. He has season tickets with some of his buddies, and they had an extra one for me. And I was like, got to do this live stream with the fellas today. Catch you guys next time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather hang out with you guys today than sit at the Federal Landmark on a beautiful 75 breezy degree day.
High praise.
That is high praise. Also, Tyler, I don't know him personally, but I see his stuff on social media. I think he's really smart, really good at what he does.
He certainly knows his college football and his college basketball. He helps me make bets on, using Prize Picks and Circa and everything. He helps me a lot with the college part of the. Sure. I don't watch that enough, but yeah. Hates fantasy football though. Found that out the other day. We were doing a fantasy draft at Sports Corner. He's the commissioner of a league and he hates playing fantasy football.
Interesting.
And he goes he loves the NFL, just hates fantasy.
You guys do fantasy baseball?
I do not.
Yeah.
I gave it up several years ago, mostly because I don't know. I feel like I was juggling too many things, and I was always that guy in my league who I was really good about updating my lineup early in the season, but then as the season would go, I'd forget, and then you start to feel bad because you're not really holding up your responsibility, and so
I don't play either. It's too much for me. Too much. I don't even like playing fantasy football either.
I love fantasy football.
I enjoy it if I can. The trouble I have, and I think this is a common problem, is if I could have one league that I was just like very devoted to, that I think is the best way to do it. But it's a tough thing to say no to when you got a friend that's like, hey, we're doing a fantasy football league, or we got a league. There's some spots you want to get in. It's hard to say no to that, but
yeah, I'm playing fantasy baseball right now, but I'm not really paying that close attention. I burned myself out on it. I played for a few years in college and I loved it, and then I just got so sick of it. It was weird. I've never burned out on something quicker. Fantasy football is the exact opposite for me, though. I mean, we've had the same league for 6-7 years, and we do rule changes. We have our own Adam Schefter of the league. He'll break like trades in our group chat. Like everybody's got their own little role in it. Yeah, it's super fun.
I think really that's fun. The way to do it is have that one league that you're just really into.
All smiles, baby.
I like it.
Very nice recovery.
Can we just acknowledge the fact that Drew Smiley has been incredibly good all season?
Great. He's been great.
I know I
solid,
feel like
trustworthy piece.
I feel like people are just, when they bitch about him, they're just thinking about how ineffective he was for 2 months as a starter last year. But out of the bullpen, even last year when they put him in the bullpen last year and up until now, he's been awesome.
I think the people who complain about Drew Smiley and the people who complain about relief pitching in general are the type, and again, this is fine. I'm not telling you how to fan, but it's the type of fan that wants every single relief pitcher to throw 100 miles an hour and be Josh Hader.
That's fair.
And there's only 6 or 7 of those guys in the league.
Yeah.
You can't have a whole bull. Look, I love to make this all the time. If you can name in the chat for me the entire Philadelphia Phillies bullpen from last year when they made the World Series. Like, they have 4 or 5 guys in there, I guarantee you've never heard of. If you did multiple choice, you'd be like, I didn't know that guy was in there. You need to have guys. Drew Smiley's a bigger name because he's been around for a while, but having average, middle-of-the-road, consistent bullpen help like Drew Smiley's been is a huge part of how you build a winning team. I mean,
I still am surprised they didn't try to move him, though.
I think the contract is just too rich.
Probably.
I think the contract was
originally... I do tend to believe that people hate on him because he's making $9 million this year and he's a bullpen guy. And he's not even a high leverage guy. But that's not his fault. That's Jed's fault.
Yeah, go get your bag, young man. Yeah, it's not a... That's a weird... Well, that's a weird way of... that's a weird way to fan. Hating on someone for a contract. Now,
if they were
let me
not
walk that back a little bit. If it's a guy who is deliberately not showing up or holding out, like in a different sport, if you're holding out of training camp or whatever, and you're an attitude on the field and you're making a lot of money, maybe, as a fan, you can be disgruntled about it. But Drew Smiley has been one of the nicest guys in that clubhouse. He's done everything he's been asked of. Moved to the bullpen, no problem. When they kicked him out of the starting rotation, nice inning there, nice recovery, double, and no runs to show for it for the Twins.
Albert Alzolay just tweeted, God's plan, ... road to recovery starts today, ... the fist will be back better than ever. I don't know if we talked about it. We'll talk about it on postgame, which, by the way, will be right after this live stream. We'll have a new link and everything. But, Albert Alzolay shut down the rest of the season to have Tommy John surgery.
Probably a lot of next season, too.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we'll see him back with the Cubs, but I do feel like that they will non-tender him and, maybe finds his way back with the Cubs and he rehabs with the Cubs. And then
you never know. Bullpens are a funny thing. They're a fickle thing. Jed has he's prided himself on building and tooling and not giving, not overpaying certain guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. The risk on Alzolay will certainly be a bigger one because, he's obviously done for the season. And I would be surprised if I would be surprised if we saw him next season too. You know, these injuries take a long time to recover from, and the part of the game plan now that's good here is they can go into the offseason knowing and planning that you won't have him next year.
Yeah, you'll know that going into it, because I do think with the timing of this surgery, it's really hard to envision seeing him in 2025 at all. Because typically it's roughly.
And if he's with the Cubs in 2026 and he actually comes back and is actually productive, like that'll be a hell of a story to tell.
Yeah.
That all said, though, too, with the way the Cubs bullpen at this point has kind of figured itself out, and you have some controllable arms in there like Porter Hodge, and they're going to get Luke Little back next year, and
I think they're in.
They have other guys too. Like
Caleb Killian.
Yeah, Caleb Killian. I'm still surprised that Palencia hasn't found his way back up to the Cubs yet.
I know he's pitched well in AAA lately.
Just because he throws so hard. And I know command can be a thing with him too, but I felt like before he got hurt, he had started to show signs of growth. And
when you've got that triple-digit velocity, like
and as we've talked about, the Cubs need more of that. And they have some of it with Hodge and when Little comes back. And I'm intrigued about Nate Pearson. So far, he's been okay. I think that Jack Neely, when he gets an opportunity, he came over in the lighter trade. I think he could be a guy. Saw he got the save for Iowa last night.
Still got Tyson Miller.
Yeah, Tyson Miller. Like that's turned out to be an incredible move.
It's a great trade, man. Yeah.
Sorry, Gary. I know they traded Slaughter for him, but
But Slaughter, I mean, there was just so much infield depth in your minor leagues that one of those guys was going to get moved.
Right.
I know it's different contracts and different scenarios, but what injury did Michael Fulmer have again? Was it similar?
He has Tommy John too. Oh, is that Nico hitting one out?
Nico got a hold of one, but
not enough on it. That's looks good off the bat, but
because I know different contracts. Fulmer was only here for a year, but that was a pretty quick decision to not bring him back. Not even really. I
think
doubt
he signed with the Red Sox, and he's doing like rehab with them.
Okay.
And I feel like because Craig Breslow is there, that might be why.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because
I really feel like Tyone might have been on what might have found his way on the Red Sox, but it was never fully released. But I guess Tyone had like a 10-team like no trade list.
Yes,
and I don't think those teams were ever released, but it made a lot of sense to potentially move Tyone to the Red Sox at the deadline. But maybe the Red Sox were on that list. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know that. So it was 10 teams to my knowledge. We don't know who the teams are.
Yeah.
And those are...
I can tell you who one of the teams is. That team on the south side of town. Ain't nobody want to go there.
No, yeah. That's... I'm sure that's the first one. A lot of teams right now. A lot of players right now.
Nobody wants to play there.
But the players submit that list in like November.
Okay.
So it's shortly after the season ends. Then they have to submit their list for the upcoming season, and then the list doesn't change until the following off season.
Seriously, I did not know that. Okay,
this is something I learned just recently. So whatever teams he put on there, those are teams he submitted last November.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Because I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they could switch that mid-season, if it was like a malleable list, or if it was something that is.
It's fixed.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is what it needs to be.
Right. And I think they do that because, for the player, I'm sure they would love to be able to say, oh, look, this team's doing great this year. Take them off my list or add this team to my list because they're having an awful season. The one thing I do know is that Tyone said he had not been approached about any of the teams that were on his list.
Oh,
so there was not apparently nothing that.
So the Red Sox were never interested,
or at least not interested enough that they went to Tyone to say, how do you feel about this? So whoever those 10 teams are, that nothing progressed to the point that they would have gone to Tyon to talk to him about it.
Okay.
So for whatever that's worth. But again, you're kind of flying blind without knowing. Probably you're right. Who 9 of those teams are?
Yeah, and that's one of those things you maybe he would tell you, or as a secret insider source or whatever. That's never something a player would go public about. Yeah. You don't want to disrespect other organizations. You don't want to hurt your own wallet, right? You never know who's going to give you that next paycheck. So
right, and I think they do. The players look at like the trajectory of certain organizations.
He just tagged second base
just for fun. Yeah, just for fun.
Practice. Yeah.
They look at an organization's trajectory. I'm sure players also factor in. I imagine there's some cities or parts of the country that they're like, don't really want to go there.
I would assume it's got to be the most popular destination on the no trade list for every pitcher's course field, right? Got to be.
Right.
Nobody wants to pitch in that ballpark.
I don't want to pitch there. It's a beautiful city. I love Denver, but if I'm a pitcher, I don't want to go anywhere near there.
Good. Yeah. Good.
So yeah, I'm sure there's factors like that they think like, that's not something I want to deal with. So it's
Lopez.
Tough play.
Oh,
tough play. That's a hard play.
That is a hard play.
That's one that you kind of wish that
I wish
hindsight,
Paredes would have made the play. Honestly,
let Paredes make the play, or if you're Lopez, you get that ball and you probably just got to eat it.
Yeah.
Let's see where Paredes is positioned there to make the play, but I don't mind it.
I also he's got to know that Santana's the one running too. Like he could have held up a little bit and made a better throw.
He did have a little more time to line up that throw a little better than what he did.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Michael Busch come off the bag and knock that one down as well.
Yeah, just because now he's on second base.
You're giving him a single and then an E1. Okay. All right.
That was a good first pitch.
I feel like this guy's been with the Twins forever. Max Kepler.
He's been around.
Just a very solid player. Maybe not a solid bat, but he didn't like it, but that is hit in the corner. That's a strike.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, Kepler was born in Germany. I
don't think has he played with any other big league clubs? I don't think he. Yeah,
Minnesota his whole career. I'm going to look this up to test if I'm right.
Found out that Michael Busch is from Minnesota too.
Yeah.
Found that out this weekend.
My guy Mike Dubs loves to talk about it.
Michael Busch from Minnesota, played hockey in high school. Which I imagine everybody in Minnesota, they just like
everyone does
automatically.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was right. Max Kepler, born in Berlin, Germany.
Wow.
So there you go.
Nice changeup here from Lopez.
That was a great pitch.
3-finger changeup.
Also, Lopez is an
bottom of the zone.
We were talking about the bullpen earlier. I keep forgetting about Lopez, and I think it's just because I'm not like super impressed, but I'm also like I don't have anything negative to say about him. Like I feel like he's in the middle for me in terms of who's catching my eye.
He's been a solid pickup.
But yeah, he's been a solid pickup. You know, he had that whole thing with the Mets. And
it was a weird story.
And he's been fine with the Cubs. And then I say this, and now he's probably gonna give up a run. But like, he is a guy that I keep forgetting about.
I can't remember, and I'm sure he's had made a couple of mistakes.
Oh, that's an ugly swing.
I can't remember any time that he's given up or blown a game, or he.
Well, they've been using him more as like a middle reliever. Like they haven't used him a ton. Yeah, like they're using him here in the 6th inning up 4. Like they're not putting him out there in the 8th inning of a tie ball game or a 1-run game. You know.
Yeah, but he was DFA'd by the Mets, and Tyson Miller was DFA'd by the Mariners. So
two really good pickups for that. That's one thing the Cubs have done really well the last few years is for their bullpen they find these guys like this and they get they get the most out of them that they can.
I'd love to see them continue to do that while also like going into a season like with some proven talent. In which I guess this year a little bit they did do that with Neris, but also they didn't. You were hoping that ALLCITY was going to be your closer.
I think
right?
that was Neris. You kind of went into the season thinking he's your 8th inning sort of your setup guy. But it has. I mean, I know Neris has had his rough outings for sure, but I think getting him has really saved them in a lot of ways with ALLCITY going down. That you have a guy who has as much experience as a closer as Neris does.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised they didn't trade him at the deadline. I thought there'd
be some interest
moved,
too,
but again, who knows? It's always so tough to know. Like, I'm sure there were conversations, but the Cubs, I imagine, had something in mind that they were looking for, and if a team doesn't meet that, they were probably thinking, well, we're not going to move him for the sake of moving him,
right?
And not get the return that we want. So
I'm glad that I didn't jinx Lopez. He strikes out that last batter.
That 2-seam fastball.
It's a great pitch.
Good night. Right on the outside part of the plate. Tough pitch to hit as is, and he threw it 97. Yeah.
All right, so we're through six and a half innings. I'd love to see the Cubs maybe tack on another run or two. You feel real comfortable. You don't have to use your high leverage relievers.
I think a little more cushion here, knowing the number of innings that you're asking for from your bullpen, and to try to stay away from the high leverage arms would be pretty nice. But
even if they do use them, which is fine, you got an off day tomorrow. But you'd like to be able to not use them when you don't need to,
right? Yeah, you don't have to be forced into using them today. And the Cubs, it's an interesting series coming up with the off day tomorrow, and then they play Friday and Saturday night, and then a weird off day Sunday.
Because they only do 2-game series with the White Sox,
and for some reason scheduled them Friday, Saturday. But for
to
the
me,
Cubs,
it would have made sense to do a 4-game series with the Twins, give them an off day on Friday, and then do
Saturday, Sunday.
Do a weekend series with the White Sox Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. But I don't make the schedule, and I know a lot of people have a lot of complaints about the schedule these days.
One of the things I have not enjoyed about it has been
the fact that you don't play the Brewers or the Cardinals anymore the rest of the season.
The reduced number of games against your division. And the fact that you will not see Milwaukee again for the rest of this year. And in this season, for the Cubs at least, it doesn't matter because it's not like you're going to catch up to them. But in a different year or under different circumstances, that might prove crucial when you don't get any head-to-head opportunities in September. I asked Craig Counsell about that a couple weeks ago maybe. And he did say that he feels like games in September should be primarily against your division. And I agree. I think that's the way the schedule should be set up.
PCA's at the plate, by the way. To kind of add to what we're talking about with the schedule, I hate that you're playing a bunch of West Coast teams in April. And not only on the road, but also at your home ballpark.
Yeah.
It's you should be playing those West Coast games at Wrigley at least. So, you should be playing those teams from the West Coast at Wrigley when it's actually warm out. The Dodgers should be coming to Wrigley in June or July. If they really wanted to make money, if they really cared about money,
schedule those
Ohtani coming to Wrigley Field in July makes a lot of sense.
Right.
If you were trying to make money,
I agree.
Strikes out there,
but instead, you're hosting the Dodgers in April, which just doesn't.
And the Padres, and it's just I don't mind the Cubs going out west in April, because it's freaking cold here in April. But the fact that they have West Coast teams coming here in April, and you're going out west, I don't like it.
Spin zone though, when the Dodgers are here in April, tickets are cheap.
That's true.
And I went to a couple of those games. I don't think I paid more than $30 a game, and I was sitting.
Got to see Ohtani hit one out.
That's a good point.
I think the Friday game that we went to.
Got to watch
Friday 120 Club. I think Ohtani hit one out that day.
Got to watch Northwest suburban legend Bobby Miller make his
he got
debut.
He got owned by the Cubs offense that day.
Cubs did win.
Michael Busch revenge game on that day. Yeah. Anyway, there's your schedule rant for everyone who cares.
The only thing I don't like about it is, I don't know. I don't like playing all the American League teams. I don't see. I know why they're doing it. I understand but I would rather play. The division games is I agree with Craig Counsell. I'd rather play more division games, but if that's the schedule, that's the schedule. That's fine. I just don't. Why do you have to play all these American League teams and play a couple? Like, you're competing for playoff spots. You want as many opportunities to go against teams that are competing for one of those 6 spots every single night if you can.
Because the more excitement you can generate from those kinds of head-to-head matchups late in a season where, it's these 2 National League teams that are both fighting for a wild card spot are playing a series against each other. You want more of that and maybe less of the Cubs playing the Twins in August, but this is for now at least the direction they've decided to go.
It's what they're going to try. It's what they're going to give it some runway and see. So, of the things to complain about with Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball, that's lower on my list.
Small potatoes.
Yeah, it's lower on my list.
Ooh,
great pitch there.
Speaking of all these changes and stuff, did you guys see the clip from Colin Goward on the Herd talking about how he was talking about how the NFL is always making changes, unlike MLB, and he says something along the lines of that MLB just doesn't do anything to change what they're doing to try and get more fans to watch.
Tell me you don't pay attention to baseball.
Yeah, tell me you haven't watched a baseball game in 5 years without telling me.
Yeah, dude.
What has the NBA done to change? They changed the All-Star game.
Yeah.
What else have they done to change gameplay? Nothing.
I would say
they had the play-in tournament.
The play-in tournament
and
the All-Star
tournament,
game,
which,
the
by the way, I
ending
think is the dumbest thing ever.
I hate the in-season tournament.
The Elam ending in the All-Star game was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But, you can't do that. I mean, maybe you could do that with baseball. What, the first team to 10 runs or whatever?
To me, the only thing the NBA does that's better than MLB is they are really good at marketing their players. More and more basketball fans who watch the NBA don't even really care about teams. They care more about players. Unless you're a Bulls fan, because we're all MJ and the historic franchise that is the Bulls. But for instance, the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, people are Timberwolves fans now because Anthony Edwards has become one of the best players in the league. All right.
But will they stay with that team?
Exactly. Will they follow him? A lot of people have just basically followed LeBron his entire career. Right. That's the only thing that the NBA does better than MLB. I feel like MLB has been so bad at marketing their players, marketing the game, and trying and they continue to sit in this how do I explain it? They continue the talking heads and the people who are on these big baseball networks talking about how to do things the right way when it's not. It's just them yelling at clouds. That's really all it is. And it's
I would say I could think.
It's so annoying to me.
As a counterpoint to Colin Cowherd, who, clearly hasn't paid any attention to baseball in several years, they've made more compared to other major professional leagues. Baseball has made more changes than anybody.
Yeah. That's why it's so funny that he said that.
You now have the DH in both leagues, the balanced schedule that we've just been complaining about. The bases are larger. Mm-hmm. The extra innings rule that just went. I mean, it's been a flurry of significant changes.
Sure.
So Colin Cowherd, if you're
they
watching,
implemented the pitch clock as well to speed
the pitch
game,
clock. I
game
forgot
up.
about that.
Yeah.
So
the rules that come with it, the bigger bases, all these things are designed to increase offense, increase watchability. Because baseball got to a point where it was strikeout, home run. The game was slow. Playoff games taking 4 or 5 hours. the things that in those terms, I think MLB has taken big steps in terms of increasing watchability, creating and generating new fans, stuff like that, bringing old fans back that may be over it, you know.
And I think the one thing that now, having had a couple seasons worth of it, is that I've never heard people say a bad thing about anymore, at least, is the pitch clock. I think the more people have gotten used to what the pitch clock does to the pace of the game,
and no one talks about it anymore.
Most people like it. I know the initial reaction was maybe kind of negative, but as you've gotten used to it, I think most people would say, hey, this is it does what it was intended to do. Not only it shortens the total time of the game, but it accelerates the action within the game, which is what you want.
Dallas in the chat says that people watch the Timberwolves because of Luka Garza, and I'm just going to assume he knows. I'm going to assume that he knows how much that guy is dead to me in my heart, because Ayo Dosunmu should have won the Player of the Year that year, and I'm going to hold that grudge forever.
Is that what this is?
I'm going to assume that he is.
Well,
Ayo Dosunmu was the best player in the country that year. I don't care what anyone says.
You can come back with him and say people are going to watch Timberwolves this year because of Terrence Shannon Jr. So
yeah. Personally, I'll be paying more attention to the Timberwolves for that reason alone.
Dude, they're a fun team. I got a couple of my buddies who are huge Twins fans and huge Timberwolves fans. They grew up in Minnesota. You want to talk about a team that's never won a damn thing? Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Like, that's a franchise where you're like, damn, they're White Sox level, but at least the White Sox have a World Series. They got something.
That's a hell. Oh, okay.
There you go. Way to come off the bag.
Came off the bag. So Dave in the chat said that Joe Ryan exited with right tricep tightness.
Okay,
that sounds like
I'm choosing to believe him. It is surprising because the way he walked off the mound.
Check. Guys.
I would imagine they've probably tweeted out an update.
Yeah.
But you said that was Dave?
Dave LaCroix?
Thank you, Dave.
I hope I said your last name right, brother. All right.
Can of corn.
Admittedly, like the last inning and a half, I've just kind of been like going through the motions here. We got Lopez back out here for inning number 2. Also, by the way, Big Dave is in the house now. He's sitting on the other side of the office. I see him. He's got a big old smile on his face. I tell you, no one. He's giving Jared compliments about his hair and his beard.
I always come in here. You make me feel good. I love it.
If you're ever down in the dumps, down in the dumps, just get yourself a Big Dave. Like if you could go buy a Big Dave, just commission to be your friend, to be that like big hype boost or whatever, you know.
Go support CHGO Bulls. Their show is at 4:00 today. 4:00. Yes, CHGO Bulls is at 4:00.
Speaking of the NBA, we've been talking a little NBA here, so
somehow, some way.
So watch along shows. These conversations go places, but yeah, tune in to CHGO Bulls at 4:00.
I think the only time I've ever seen Big Dave get a little frustrated with me is when I started talking about the Knicks. Yeah, that's me. Because the Knicks have a bunch of Big East players on their team, and I'm a Big East fan. I'm a Marquette guy. Went to Marquette. I love Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek's going to be a stud for the Knicks. You don't care. DePaul game?
Brendan
Let's go.
Hunt,
Up, down.
actor and writer.
We'll go.
Chicago native.
Me, and 15 other people. Yeah, that's about it.
Should I know who this guy is?
I'm talking stadium-wise. There's only about 15
There's 2 of us that are not sure.
Okay. He looks familiar. I just I don't
Yeah.
know who he is. It's not ringing a bell.
Give it a quick Google.
Yeah. That's okay. The guy from Ted Lasso.
Okay.
That makes sense now. Okay. Shout out to Matt Peck for keeping me cultured.
Who needs Google? You got Matt Peck
Who
over
needs Google when you have Matt Peck in the room? Okay. No, I have.
I haven't,
I've watched
no.
like the first couple seasons. I'm behind. I got to catch up. Oh. Look at this dad out here.
Love it. Shirtless.
That guy's vibing, brother.
Has no business being shirtless.
That's
but he's
no
doing
business.
it anyway.
No
Yeah,
business being shirtless.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I bet he is following the program that you described earlier. He's like,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful summer day. I'm in the bleachers.
It's beautiful out. Yeah.
I'm going to throw back a couple and take my shirt off.
That's what Braggs Jr. does. Braggs takes his shirt off every Friday 120.
You got to
If
do it.
anyone's ever interested, you should come to Friday 120 to see Braggs with his shirt off.
You can see that in the flesh, literally.
In the
Literally
flesh.
in the front. I was surprised and that this past Friday, Braggs did not take his shirt off, and I swear that this past Friday was the hottest Friday day game of the season. I've been to every single one of them, and I would rank this past Friday as the hottest Friday day game we've had the year. And Braggs didn't take his shirt off. I was surprised.
Braggs did say we're all welcome to come to his pool whenever we want, as long as our names are not Adam Hogue or Mark Carmen. So, and then we could also see him with his shirt off there. I would assume he's not a guy with the shirt on in the pool, right?
No, he's definitely not a shirt on.
I was going to say,
There's absolutely no
That would
way
be
Braggs is that.
that would be ironically funny if he whips his shirt off in the bleachers but swims with it on. Because, there's a few of those guys. You go to the beach and they leave that T-shirt on when they go swimming. I don't get it, but
Yeah.
Maybe if you got a really bad sunburn, it makes sense.
right, like you're trying to, man.
I got absolutely torched at that first 120 game that we went to. Man, Luke had jeans on, so he was fine. And I can't remember.
Did he
if
do it again? Oh no, never mind.
We got to
a good
almost
sign,
home
though.
to do the post game
So they
show,
had
and
to put it
I
out
was
there.
like, my whole face was just red. Everyone in the chat's like, "What happened to Wells?" Like I was like, burned all the way up, and yeah, it was rough.
Meanwhile,
It was
I
in
just
May.
continued to just get darker and darker. Outside of hanging out with all of our fellow diehards and people who tune into the show, like the Friday 120 Club has been great for my tan.
Yeah,
Because I cut the sleeves off the green shirt, and I had to because it's just been like I just can't do T-shirts in the bleachers.
when is the tank giveaway at Wrigley? Are you gonna get that?
It's every Friday game.
No, the tank top giveaway. Aren't they? Don't the Cubs have like a?
I
special
believe
tank
they
they're giving
did that
away?
already.
They've been doing them every Friday home game, dude.
Yeah, I've got at least one.
This is
at
the
home
Cubs.
that-
Like I got this from the Cubs.
I thought it was like there was like a baby blue pinstripe one on there.
Yeah, I
they
got
were
that
giving
one
away.
too.
Oh, well.
They
There you
gave
go.
away like they're all like based on decades. So the
Okay.
very first one was like the dark blue with like the
Yeah.
Cub with the bat, like from the 1908 era.
Because the one baby blue one, that was pretty recent because that's like the what? I don't know if that's the 1984 team or not, but
Yeah.
that's roughly that time period when they were wearing those.
Yeah, I'm not a tank top guy. I don't think I can pull it off. I probably could, but like, it's just not my style. More of a
My advice, Kevin, is just not care, and then it just fits.
let it ride.
Just
let it
just
rip.
happens. Yeah. That's kind of like my vibe. I just kind of do what I want to do.
Good vibe to have, man.
I make it sound like it's so easy to do. I don't know.
Hey,
As a bigger guy and having black hair, one might say I sweat a lot. Okay. So like if tank tops are not part of my wardrobe, I got a problem, man. Shout out to Mando.
I always
keeps me
sure if
smelling
the
nice.
It started the
Michael
first
Busch, single up
summer
in
we
the
were
Let's Go.
here, and the AC like did not work in this place at all.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! You were like, that's when like I made the mistake of wearing long pants to the studio, and
Oh yeah. When we had AC problems in here, brother. Ooh.
You get pretty warm.
it was
Yeah, we get
hot,
warm.
man.
So potential chance for the Cubs to tack on an insurance run here. You got Michael Busch, the nice single, a 1-out single from Busch, and the Seiya Suzuki coming up to the plate. Because they've had some loud outs here the last couple innings, but this is their first base runner in a little bit.
And shout out to Pablo Lopez too, man.
Yeah, 2 solid innings.
2 nice innings.
Solid innings.
Continues to look good.
Yeah.
It's been really solid. I only given up 1 earned run in a Cubs uniform so far. Oh, my goodness, man. That's the second one.
You call that a strike?
That is...
Jesus.
Man.
Come on, man.
Oof, good cut. Took a nice big swing at that one.
Yeah, Lopez, since he's joined the Cubs, has given up 1 earned run and 15 2/3 innings pitched. Sorry, 16 2/3 inning pitch.
What's this last one? Yeah,
that's 1 earned run and almost 17 innings. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and the Mets could not get rid of him fast enough. It's funny how a change of scenery can fix some guys in a story that might have been a little bit embellished on the New York end of things.
A lot got made of the comment that was still sort of unclear.
Throwing the glove into the stands,
Yeah, was he saying they were the worst team or I'm the worst teammate? Whatever it was the quick trigger on the DFA there that has worked to the Cubs' benefit.
Say 2-2.
That might fall.
Oh, another one of the warning track.
There's been a lot of these last couple innings.
All I can say is thank God a few of them got out.
This is one thing that the Cubs offense, I think, has something of a tendency to do is they come out to a nice lead sort of early in the game, and then it feels like that offense goes real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a shift in mentality that happens or what it is, and maybe it's not even something they're fully aware of, but it does seem to be a trend that in some cases has come back to bite them late in games. We saw that with that, that play against St. Louis on Saturday where a 3-run lead in the 8th inning went away pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Brady's, what are you, 0 for 2 today? Ooh.
I like that angle that Marquis just showed us of the batter's box where Paredes stands because it's interesting. A lot of guys don't stand that far back in the batter's box.
He literally stands at the very back of it. Like his back foot is at the very back of the batter's box.
I've always been a fan of the open stance, too. I just think you just look like such a big leaguer when you have an open stance. It's so hard to master that timing. You got under that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I don't know if Kerry, his body language was,
yeah.
He knew.
Well, yesterday, the way he reacted from that one, it felt like he thought that it was.
He had a little bit of help with the wind there. That might have snuck out. But another loud out. It's a good point by you, Jared. A lot of hard hits here in this inning, but last couple innings, just no runs to show for it.
Well, the good news is they're up 6-2.
So Smiley took the 5th.
Then Lopez pitched the
Lopez
last
6-7. So who do you want here in the 8th?
Well, I think this might be a good spot to. You have somebody that maybe hasn't pitched in a little while, because you do have that cushion. It's not necessarily a high leverage inning, so maybe somebody who wouldn't normally pitch the 8th, but because of this specific situation.
It says on the MLB A Bad app that Porter Hodge is coming in.
Okay.
Which, I know he's kind of technically considered one of your high leverage guys at this point.
Still a rookie, so there's.
But it is a 4-run game, and Craig Counsell ain't taking any chances.
You've got some margin for error here.
And again, you do have the off day. If you look at the rest of their bullpen, you got, Tyson Miller pitched yesterday. You got Nate Pearson out there. I wouldn't have hated Nate Pearson coming out. Ethan Roberts is in the bullpen too.
So, I could see them giving Nate Pearson the 9th.
I was going to say maybe you go Pearson in the 9th, and you have Ethan Roberts as a fallback.
You have Merriweather as well.
Yeah, they're set up nicely that they can get these last 6 outs.
So, I've really enjoyed watching Porter Hodges' development this year. I still think there's a lot more improvement to come, but he's totally taken the challenge of inserting himself into high leverage situations and ran with it, and had success. And not a lot of guys can do that, we were talking about Drew Smyly earlier. There was a game this year where, the bullpen was so depleted and injured and all this stuff. And Craig Counsell had no choice, but he brought in Drew Smyly after someone else before him just completely fell apart in San Francisco. And Drew Smyly couldn't close out the game. And this isn't slander to Drew Smyly. It's just some guys can just pitch in that inning and some guys can't. Now, Porter Hodge hasn't got closing opportunities yet, but he has been out there for high leverage moments in close games. And that's a start for me. I don't know. I still don't know if he can be the closer or if he can develop himself into being a closer, but the Cubs certainly have a guy here that looks like he can be a 7th or 8th inning guy. And if you can develop those guys, then you don't have to go out and sign the guys like Hector Neris and stuff like that. If you just continue to develop them like this, you're setting yourself up really nicely, and you can use that money that some teams have to go and use on a reliever. You can use that on guys who are playing every day, or if you want that high-end starting pitcher or whatever,
I'll be honest.
That's the way I've always looked at it. I've always wanted the Cubs to be able to develop the bullpen from within. I've always wanted them to be able to do it. I know that it's been a slow process, and I know that going into the season you were really banking on ALLCITY to be the closer, and it didn't work out.
Well, had looked like an example of what you're talking about, where they developed him, and he.
But the ALLCITY thing, as we were talking about earlier, is was he hurt? How did they read this? All this stuff. So I don't know how to read that anymore now that he's having Tommy John. Either way, it was a massive mistake by the Cubs to go that route as he strikes out the first batter he faces. But the point is that I'm getting at is, he made his major league debut and struck out 3 Atlanta Braves that are all-stars. And it was in a blowout game. It didn't matter. The Cubs lost that game 11-2 or whatever. But he came in and you saw something from a Cubs reliever that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And he's only gotten better since then. And I've really enjoyed watching him develop. He's such a nice dude. He came on the show shortly after he made his major league debut, and he just seems like a genuinely nice guy. And I'm excited to have him here for hopefully a long time, man.
Yeah, he's impressed me, man. It's always hard to judge bullpen arms because they get up to the big leagues, and a lot of guys, some guys are thrown into the fire, some guys are called up because of injuries, and you need them to play in roles that they've never pitched in before. Then you need a guy to pitch the 8th inning in a 1-run game, and maybe that's his major league debut, maybe it's his 2nd or 3rd opportunity out there. I feel like every opportunity that Porter Hodge has had, he's taken advantage of, and that's hard to do, man. Look at him, just the location of the fastball.
Right. Spotting up a 99-mile-an-hour fastball at the bottom of the zone. He's gotten 2, so his first 2 outs here, these are strikeouts looking. So, he's really giving these Twins batters a hard time.
And there was a couple games early on that the walks were there. You saw him, same with Luke Little. The velocity is there, but sometimes the walks are still high.
The stuff is there. You could see that they have the stuff, but their command they struggled with, right?
But it really, and this is pure eye test. I don't know if I can back this up at all in any way, but it feels like Porter Hodge's adjustment didn't take long at all. It felt like he had a couple outings and then, all right, now I know what I can throw here. I'm going to throw it.
I agree.
Beat me with it. And no one has. He's given up a couple runs, but for the most part, for the better half of the last 6-7 weeks, he's been very good.
I agree.
So, very impressive.
I mean, this was a great inning.
Right, yeah.
That
was like that's the kind of inning you need. And now, like last Saturday, when we were like, you know how I always send the tweet, the GIF when they lose. You know, I said in the caption, you know, like Porter just didn't have it today, and everyone, you know, blamed PCA and Horner or whatever for like not catching the ball. But in that inning, Porter also
the walk.
He walked and a hit by pitch, you know, and then Paredes didn't help with the throwing error. But either way, like starting the inning off with where he got an out, then he walked a guy, then the hit by pitch. Like you're setting yourself up for chaos. But other I'm sure there's other innings, but what a lot of what he does, even if he does give up a run, there was a outing sometime in the last I'd say 2 weeks where he gave up a homer. It was a solo shot, but then he just locked in and everything was fine. And in that particular game, the Cubs had a 3 or 4 run lead. So like you can live with that, you know what I mean? And so it's like I just feel like he goes out there, understands the job, the task at hand, and just gets it done. Like that's they need guys like that, and it's easier said than done, absolutely. But he's got great stuff. And,
he really does.
And the command, like you guys were saying, like it feels like he's adjusted really well. Like he's kind of whatever Hadavi has done with him since he made his major league debut and gone through some command struggles. Like he's been good fun to watch.
I would tell anybody, you know, go back and rewatch these 3 at bats from the Twins in this 8th inning here, and a great example of what we're talking about, where he dominated each of those, even the fly out to center, avoiding any kind of quality contact that they're going to do any damage with, preceded by 2 strikeouts looking. That's a pitcher that's really just like he's in command of that inning from start to finish.
So that was Porter Hodge's 23rd appearance. He's given up 7 earned runs. He's got an ERA of 1.45, opponent's batting average of 1.45. His whip is 0.92. His ERA is 2.63. I mean, that.
There you go. Talk.
For your first stint in the big leagues,
that's pretty
pretty darn good, man.
Yeah,
that's pretty darn good. You know, almost averaging over a strikeout an appearance. Yeah. He's been a welcomed addition. And with all the injuries the Cubs have had, pitching-wise, I mean, they've needed someone like him to come in and step up, and he's done it. 23 years old, big spots.
And
see where it lands up next year.
He won't be able to get away with this for long, but after one of the games over the weekend, as I was leaving the ballpark, walking out right underneath the marquee, I saw him walking with what I assume were his parents, just out there in the crowd among the people, and nobody seemed to recognize him or stop him for an autograph or a picture. So I don't know, the way he's pitching, I don't know how long that's going to last, but I had, it kind of made me laugh because I'm like, oh, there's Porter Hodge, and no one knew. No one seemed to know, but may not last for long.
When he came on the show, he talked about his friendship with Luke Little a lot with us, and they came up through the minors together, and it was crazy how they both were starting to take steps forward at the same time. It's unfortunate that Little got hurt. I don't know if it's delusional high for me, but I'm so high on Luke Little. I mean, I came into the year thinking if Luke Little can go through the ups and the downs or whatever, but take steps developmentally throughout the year, he could at least be a high leverage reliever with you,
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'm certainly not selling my Luke Little stock right now. I don't want to say I'm high on him, but I'm certainly not selling the stock because he's got the velocity, man. If you can throw 100 miles an hour, you're already a weapon. That's already the baseline weapon. So I'm cool with.
Tauchman just steal a base? Wow.
Sure did.
Yes, he did.
Mike Tauchman stole a
Cubs
base.
have been low key, heads up on the bases today. It's good to see. So
if you're selling your Luke Little
right
stock, I'm buying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I'm still buying it.
I just think those two guys, at the very least, as high leverage guys in your bullpen next year, that's really solid for your bullpen. Now, I understand he's coming back from injury, so you don't know what to really expect. That said, though, like they have other guys too.
I think Assad will be back in the bullpen next year.
Yeah. You still who knows what they're going to decide with Ben Brown?
Yeah, that's
he's got to be the biggest question mark at this point.
I think so.
But
because the dude almost no-hit the Brewers,
right?
So he's got the stuff. But it's like we also have a pretty good rotation without you in it. Are you better served for us in the 9th inning role? Because for me, that's the discussion right now. Because I think Assad's your long-term guy, your long-term relief pitcher next year, and I think Jordan Wicks.
He takes a rotation spot, right?
Yeah. And I think depending on what you want to do with Cade Horton, I feel like that's kind of how it's going to shake out is Ben Brown will end up in the bullpen, and I think that he could end up as the closer. That's just how it feels to me at this moment in time. If they want to make him a starter, great. I mean, but it feels like, you got 3 horses already next year. You're 1, 2, 3 this year with Steele, Imanaga, and Tyone. Hendricks is gone. Assad's going to go back to the pen. See how it shakes out, but it's nice to have young arms, though. It's fun, and it's fun. It's exciting for fans. New faces.
Yeah.
Wow, look at how far these guys throw. Wow, he's only 23. Like, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's something the Cubs really have never dabbled in before. They've never been a pitch factory machine before,
right.
Getting guys in trades and developing guys. So it's nice. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, you'd really have to go back 20, 25 years for the last time that the Cubs were
up the middle.
Mm.
God, Swanson, we swinging.
We have a prediction from Bourne to run 99. They say the next Friday 120 at Wrigley Cubs will be at .500, so we'll be above or we'll be at 500. Is
Okay.
that
Who's asking?
So
Well,
next Friday 120, what's the date on that?
It's Blue Jays next week, right?
Yeah, it will be above 500.
That's a
Prediction?
above 500.
That's his prediction. So
Yeah,
if they
that's
close-
his prediction.
they have to finish this game. That'll get them to 3 under. Then you got 2 games against the White Sox that you should win.
We will
You
win.
should win. You better fucking win if you really do still care about the postseason. Hey, Dansby, there you go.
There we go.
Finally got one through there. We saw Dansby kind of poke a couple groundouts to third in his
That's a
last
nice
2
insurance
at-bats.
run.
Got one through.
You hit that one hard too, 97 miles per hour. Good sign.
What's the series after the White Sox? It's the Guardians, right?
Guardians, yeah.
They go
That'll be an interesting series.
It's a
to
good litmus
Cleveland?
test,
Yeah.
man.
It really is. Yeah.
Well,
they're
I
good.
mean,
That's the best team in baseball. Like that many Orioles have been the best 2 teams in
maybe
baseball.
the Cubs have something with the AL Central because they won the series against the Royals.
and
they're
they swept Baltimore when they went
swept
there.
Baltimore. Well, I mean that's AL East, but AL Central.
Oh yeah.
They're going to play the Tigers later this month, but
He corrected. He said at 500.
At 500.
Yeah.
It's still a bold prediction, but I respect it. I like the optimism. I support that.
So that to be at 500, that would mean
So what do they, have
would
to
win.
do?
They would win
I would
this
say-
game, win the White Sox games, and take 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. You'd be at 500 then.
would you? You're 3
Yeah.
under right now. You win 2 more, you're 1 under. That you win both games against the White Sox, you're 1 under. Then you go and play the Guardians. If you just win the series,
You're
Yeah, you're
one-
500.
You're at 500.
Right?
I
I'm
think
doing that
so.
right?
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be at
So-
500. So yeah, for the
I
when they
think
play the Blue
that's-
Jays next Friday,
That's a
you'd
fair
be at
prediction.
500.
I think
That's
that
a fair
is
prediction.
because I do think you could safely expect they'll beat the White Sox twice, and the real question mark is you're on the road against Cleveland, who, Kevin, like you said, that's one of the best teams in baseball. So
If you
Can you
have
take 2 out of
MLB,
3?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tall task. If you have MLB TV and you like watching baseball, and the Cubs aren't on, and we're not on, highly suggest watching the Guardians play. They are a really fun team to watch.
and I
They
love
manage
this.
really well. They pitch really well. They run the
Yeah.
bases. They hit the shit out of the ball. I mean, they are the team that. I mean, they don't really, aside from Jose Ramirez, don't really have any household names. Emmanuel Clase.
Steven
Stephen
Kwan.
Kwan should get more
Yeah.
attention than he does, but
Yeah.
he doesn't, though. I mean, I don't think.
How'd that guy go from just being like a contact hitter to like hitting home runs?
Guardians voodoo magic.
Well known. Yeah.
But
yeah, I love the story there in Cleveland of Francona retires, and that's for Stephen Vogt. That's such big shoes to fill, and he has done such a great job there.
That'll be a fun series for this Cubs team. That'll really, because that's a team. I mean, I know the Cubs played the Orioles pretty well this year too. Those weren't right. I'm not making that up. What did they do?
They swept Baltimore.
Yeah, they swept Baltimore, right?
In Baltimore, yeah.
So, like, maybe you catch the Guardians at a time where they're looking ahead a little bit in the schedule, because I feel like that's what the Orioles had the Yankees on the schedule right after the Cubs have felt like they were looking ahead, which, hey, fine. But that'll be a good test for this Cubs team in all facets of the game. See if Bethancourt can stay hot.
Bro.
He can.
I believe so.
Dansfield just trot home.
Yep. Christian Bethancourt.
Another stand-up double.
Let's go, dude. 8-2? Christian Bethancourt?
8-2.
Where has Christian Bethancourt been my entire life? Or at least the last 3.5 months.
Since the start of this season.
What a good swing on this one. Outside pitch, pulls it. Fine.
Sounded almost like he broke his bat, too.
Ooh. Don't look now, but that Cubs run differential just keeps ticking up into the green a little bit higher. Oh, +7.
Okay. Well, you're up 6 now. I mean,
he did.
Whatever. Like, if I were to play my best Luke Stuckmeyer now, I'd just be like, all right, Hap, we can take one off here. Let's get these 3 outs and get the show on the road. That's me being my best Luke Stuckmeyer.
I'm starting to feel like Stucky right now. I'm on about 2 hours of sleep, and
Thank you, Hap.
I'm done. I'm getting a little tired.
Well, at least the Cubs 8-2 lead is helping, man.
Yeah, 3 more outs to go.
3 more outs to go. We're 3 outs away from a beer bat. Hey, reminder, guys, we will do post-game right after the game. We'll just be at a new link. We'll make sure to tweet it out. If you don't subscribe, if you've been watching, you found us today, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button for us. We like doing these things with y'all. It's especially fun when the Cubs are up 8-2. Obviously when we do these, we just talk about a bunch of random stuff too. It's not just like calling the game or anything like that. And I think that's what makes it unique.
We like to think of it as we're just hanging out watching the game together, talking the way that we would even if the camera wasn't on. So but yeah, check us out for the post game show. There'll be a few minutes in between, and that's when we'll really kind of focus on today's game and break down some of what happened beyond what we've done just as the game's progressed.
Right. So
Mega Montemurro of the Chicago Tribune with a cool stat here that she tweeted out. With a successful swipe of second base in the 3rd inning, Pete Crow-Armstrong is now 22 of 22 in stolen base attempts this year, for the 2nd most consecutive successful stolen base attempts to begin a season by a rookie since 1951. I'll do 5 beer bats if you can name the player that did that in 1951.
5 beer bats.
5 beer bats.
And it had to have been a rookie?
Had to have been a rookie in 19...
A Cubs rookie in 1951.
Is that a Cubs player?
Hang on a minute. So it's the 2nd most consecutive stolen base attempts to begin a season by a rookie since 1951. She doesn't name the rookie that did it there, but she names the guy that he trails for
the
most attempts as a rookie without getting the steal, if that makes sense, or without getting caught. This guy had 26 straight attempts with a steal in 1977.
See, my mind goes to Ricky Henderson, but I don't think he debuted in 1977.
No.
He came a little bit later, like 79, I think it was.
Yeah,
So is that that we're guessing that player?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it's
so it's a rookie in 1977. So if we ask for hints, does that cut down the number of beer bats?
yes. Let me check the. Let me look at.
I'll do 5 beer bets if you.
I'm just saying, if we 2 hints, he still has to get 3 beer bats.
So he was a rookie with. You had the team right. You got a rookie with the Oakland Athletics.
Very big of me to not just look at the chat or go look up her tweet myself.
Somebody is somebody's screaming at their
somebody wants me to do beer bats.
A's rookie in 1977.
I've never heard of him.
Okay.
Before I saw that tweet, so that's why I said the amount of beer bats. It's
so
kind of
I don't think
name.
we're going to see you drink 5 beer bats.
Mitchell Page.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
I did not heard that name.
If Pete Crow-Armstrong could get to 30 steals without being caught, I mean, he's already 22 is already an insane number without being thrown out. But if you can hit that 30 number, man,
to get 22 steals in given the limited opportunities he's had,
right?
Give the man a full season where he's hitting the ball well.
How many steals did Nico have last season? Get to 40?
I believe he got to 40 last year. I don't remember the final number.
In a full season, 40 something. Yeah.
So I think you could see PCA could he get 50?
I don't know. You got what? Month and a half left? That'd be balls. That'd be insane. He'd have to be on base a lot.
I'm thinking 50 in like a normal
not
season.
This year, okay,
but like if give him a full
yeah.
season where he's batting consistently and hitting the ball decently well, so he's on base more.
I think he absolutely could in a full
50?
season. Yeah, because I mean, Ellie De La Cruz.
He just got his.
Yeah, I mean, is he at 60 yet?
I think he just got 60 yesterday.
So
De La Cruz did, yeah.
So yeah, I could see Pete, and he's on base more than Pete is. So I could see 50 being a logical and a realistic goal for his next year.
Yeah.
Dude, it also depends on where he's at in the lineup, too. We talked yesterday about maybe putting him in the leadoff role. Mm-hmm. If he's in the leadoff role, you're absolutely going to have more opportunities to steal because you're going to have more at-bats, more chance to get on base. The math, checks out. So impressive stuff, though, from the Rook. He's certainly a weapon out there. Makes stuff happen. Merriweather hasn't worked. Has he worked in this series? I can't remember. Yeah, no. So Merriweather has not worked in this series, so getting him a little bit of work here. He last worked against the Cardinals. That was back on Saturday.
Oh.
And now I just hit a guy.
Well, this is where, and I was saying it for the 8th inning, but I think same philosophy here. A guy who, hasn't worked in a little while. You're up by 6. Let him go out there and hopefully get you 3 easy outs in a clean inning, but
Jose Miranda didn't have the elbow guard on there, and I'll tell you, man, a lot. I mean, we see this a lot with most. I don't know if it's most guys in the league now. That might be an overstatement, but a lot of those guys wear that elbow pad now. I'd be wearing one. I got hit on the elbow a couple times when I was playing in high school. I couldn't your arm would go numb. Like if it got you right on the funny bone or right on the elbow, it hurt so.
That's
damn
a terrible
bad.
spot to,
Looked like he just wore that one and he was fine. One more to go. One more out.
1 out to go, and the Cubs have a series win against Minnesota. All right, so Twins are down to their last out. And
Nice play,
there it is.
Nico.
Nice
That'll
play by
do
Nico Horner. That's
Let's
gonna
go.
Great series
wrap
win
on
for the
that.
Cubs there.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Let's go, folks. Series win against the Twins. And I'm just going to say it now. I'm going to be kind of delusional for the next 24 hours because we have an off day tomorrow. So I get to be delusional
Now,
for
we
about 36 hours.
go Tampa Bay, beat the Cardinals tonight. Go Nationals, beat the Giants tonight. Pick up a game in the standings here, and go into the off day feeling good.
Exactly.
You're going into the off day feeling good regardless. A really nice series for the Cubs.
That was a great series win for the Cubs. Come back after losing the first one. We're going to talk all about it on Cubs post game here in a few minutes. Thank you all for joining the live stream presented by Blue Moon. This was fun, guys. We'll see y'all in a few minutes, and we're flying the W. Let's go!
We all silly like the mayor.